boys and girls. How do I even start my intros? Welcome back to the Pullze Check podcast. There we go. Jesus Christ, I'm so, dude. Let me rephrase what I said a little bit earlier to anybody at YouTube or anything like that. This today will probably go down as one of the best competitive days of Warzone that we've ever had, with announcements and everything. It was super unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Super unexpected with everything going down. I mean, boys, I'll just flat out say it. We now have an official roadmap to Warzone competitive, and 2 new lands have just been announced. Shit, dude, we were talking about lands in general. Are we ever going to get more lands? Are things going to continue? And we have ourselves a whole ass series, literally. Whole ass, what do they call it? Resurgence Warzone series or Warzone Resurgence series?
Warzone Resurgence Series, WRS.
Warzone Resurgence Series. Okay, but fellas, how has Twitter been today? Talk to me. What's been the? I've been on a flight. I just came back. How's everything been?
I mean, the Warzone comp is dead crowd are pretty fucking silent. That's what they are. It is glorious over here. The war is lovely. Come and jump in. Honestly, it's been. I think like. As soon as that announcement went up, just scrolling now, everybody's quote tweet, retweet. It's a lot of love, a lot of celebration, which is obviously amazing. I know that Mr. McDonald is going to be in the chat, and I'm hoping that you're getting to see all of this as well, because obviously, I mean, your hands are definitely grubbly all over this because of the incredible format that we've got. And yeah, everyone very excited as they rightfully should be. It's amazing.
Yeah, dude. I can't even contain my excitement. I damn near started crying, bro. But Dandro, Ebatez, tell me real quick, like how y'all been feeling so far with everything getting announced.
I'm just excited that we're starting to finally see like a unification of COD. Like that to me was like the big thing, right? Because like the whole point of DreamHack is to like try and like bring back MLG of old, and this feels like we're kind of getting there, right? Like even with that tweet of saying like the COD Hall, so there's going to be like challengers, CDL, Warzone, like all in just one area. So like if you're just a COD fan, maybe we get some of those multiplayer fans over here. It's like an actual way that we've just been asking for. How do you grow Warzone esports? Like this is the direct way that you do it. Shit like that.
I mean, look, like if somebody wants to clip, they go back and find some clips. You know, we had said the best thing, which we literally, I forgot, we were all like, yeah, it'll probably never happen. But the thing that we want to happen is to one day have an event where CDL and Warzone can combine, and we have something fucking insane together. And here we are. This was like in the summer, we were talking about this after champs, and here we are now in, what is it, January, right? Mm-hmm. January, talking about what's coming on. And that's that. We have 3 lands as of right now, right? Who's to say we don't get a 4th one, right? Which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, Ebatez, go ahead, because you were one of the people that advocated for like we should combine everything together into one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, this has been a long time coming, and I said obviously before the pod, but I never saw this day coming, and I'm I think I would say on the timeline today on Twitter was a lot of gratitude. I think that a lot of competitors, a lot of viewers and stuff are very grateful that we're, you know, getting something, and this is obviously very, very exciting, especially with a lot of orgs being involved in EWC and stuff. There's like, it's just cool. I saw Smix even tweet like hilarious. Like she's like, we finally, after 4 years, we have a schedule. We have actual announcements and dates and stuff. So yeah. I think a lot of people are very grateful, myself included. And yeah, just super excited. And like I said, bro, I didn't really see this day coming, and we're here.
There's almost like a painful joke to crack about the fact that Huskers will now be able to book a holiday, but then obviously we don't know if he'll be taking part. So you know, it's maybe it was him that held back the calendar the whole time. But, yeah, look, Smixy's completely right. Like being able to book ahead and for like the fans, for everybody, you know, we know that there's going to be opens at these lands. I know that we're going to get into the whole thing. Like all these, I've already been getting messages from certain folks being like, can we get to these? How do we do that? And all that kind of jazz. No doubt you fellas as well. So it's yeah, it's amazing to get to see everyone just kind of what's out their year way ahead of time. And I know that will have taken a lot of work behind the scenes. So yeah, incredible stuff. And then all the crew that pulled it together. I wonder, Hector, were you involved in the conversations for all of this? What can you say there?
I don't know.
Did you sign an NDA?
No,
All right. Well, that answered that, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. We know exactly.
No, you didn't sign an NDA, so why not? Why just
You know what's
get the clout,
hilarious?
dog?
Last podcast, I'm like going off. I'm like pissed. I'm like, bro, we need like something. We need some competitive support. They need to hire Adam full year. And I'm like, bro, has anyone even talked to Daniel Say? Has anyone had a meeting? And Hector was all quiet. Now everything's making a little bit more sense, Hector. What's going on, man?
Look, man. I don't want any of the team behind the scenes. They're the ones that deserve praise. They're the fucking goats. I don't want any of that. I just want to see the Warzone scene succeed. That's it. Those guys over there. And a lot of people, I'll say this, man. A lot of people think that they don't care, that they're not passionate. They are. And I hope that this is just a small little stepping stone for them. They are. I can never stop talking highly about them, and I won't, regardless of what people think. Yeah, those are my goats. Those are my goats.
Who would ever say they don't care, bro? That's insane. I don't know. Like, that's crazy, bro. That is insane.
Honestly.
Those guys are.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Reading the time, was it like 2 days ago or something? Just after we'd found out the news, Dan, like we'd started to get like we started to find out what was happening here, and then Brax was on the timeline, like throwing shade at the organization. And everything. We're kind of like, Brax, shut the fuck up! Like, don't ruin it! Like, don't do that. So yeah, no, it's I don't know. I just trying to think of the amount of effort that it takes. Looking at this calendar right now and seeing how it's all come together, it's far better than. Because I know that a lot of people have issue with like certain things to do with the Warzone space, always about evolving and all that. That's a wonderful thing. You got to remember, we're very early in our formative years without a shadow of a doubt. To go from what we had last year to what we're coming into now, I mean, the amount of work it must have taken, the amount of bits of tape you've had to cut through, conversations, difficult ones you've had to add. So, yeah, I don't know. Props to everybody that was involved in all that.
yeah, I mean, dude, look, I want to throw this out there. I want to just make sure everybody knows, like, this is not in association with World Series of Warzone. I promise you, I have no idea about anything World Series of Warzone, but everybody's like, oh, they're canceling it. No one knows, but just so you guys are, everybody's aware, this is completely separate. Like, World Series of Warzone is a separate entity than Warzone Resurgence Series. It's a tongue twister, but it's they're two separate things. Two separate things. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we still have World Series of Warzone, and then that's 4 lands this year, right? Yeah, like that would be sick. And then still, we don't know Esports Nations Cup. That's in November. That's still up in the air whether that's going to be Warzone or not. Whether Warzone's going to be included in that. So, I mean, brother, if there's even a world where there's 5 Warzone lands,
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be
insane.
nutty.
holy shit! You know, we'll see, man. But I mean, boys, without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, let's get into everything that's going on, everything, all the announcements and the tweets. I guess I'll start it off, right? Boys, today, early in the morning, there was, let's go get into the competitive side of things and we'll talk about it. I want to see your guys' opinions. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for being here, bro. You guys are 3 of the most passionate people when it comes to the Warzone comp scene. And I appreciate y'all being here for real, because a lot of people, I'll be honest, a lot of people from day one didn't like. I still don't know why Warzone is not one of the biggest esports. No, man, shout out my boy. If you're watching this, you know what I mean. It's one of the biggest like games, even right now when it's quote unquote dead. How it's not a big esport by now, you know, beyond me. But I'm just happy that we're taking the steps to maybe one day make that happen, right? So look, man, I do believe that there is a shift, no pun intended, because this next thing is called a competitive shift, right? But I do believe that there is a shift in the Activision atmosphere. This is the first time where we've seen any of them ever talk about anything competitive. And well, it seems like they have a plan. They have a roadmap ahead of us, right? They just released this blog and it's called The Competitive Shift Road to Season 2, right? So let's go over it, man. I'll quickly read it and then let's just kind of give our thoughts, right? So it says the competitive landscape of Call of Duty Warzone is entering a new chapter. Over the past few months, we've taken a deep dive into how competitive play is performing across all skill levels, looking closely at everything from queue times to match quality. What we found, I will say there's a lot of really important things in here, so yeah, we'll kind of break it down. What we found made one thing clear. It's time for our format to evolve into one that further sharpens competition, which to hear them say that is kind of crazy. Improves the experience and creates more exciting, meaningful moments for you, our players. February 2026 marks the beginning of that evolution. So let's go down. So it says, in addition, we'll be introducing a beta version of a new mode called Iron Gauntlet. So I was a little bit confused about this, boys, let me know if you guys kind of understood it more. Let me finish reading this section, then we can go over it, right? It says, a competitive experience built as an evolution of Iron Trials, designed to emphasize skill expression, smart positioning, and calculated engagements. Iron Gauntlet will be a large map battle royale experience with tuned features such as health, loot, and loadout rules. Iron Gauntlet represents an important step forward in refining competition for traditional battle royale, as well as an opportunity for us to experiment with a fresh mode with the long-term health of competition in Warzone in mind. So this right here gives away a lot for what the future kind of holds, right? And then it says, throughout season 2, we'll be closely monitoring player feedback and in-game data to help determine how we mold this mode and the role we will play in future seasons. So let's take a quick step back from everything happening with Resurgence, and let's talk about this. What are y'all's thoughts on this? It sounds like it's a competitive mode built to be truly competitive. It says large map, so battle royale, right? With tuned features such as health, loot, and loadout rules. When I hear the words tuned features such as health, loot, and loadout rules, I'm thinking like higher health. Like, like this reminds me of like Iron Trials, Iron Gauntlet, Iron Trials, right?
To me, that's why like whenever it was freaking out like no World Series, I actually think that this paragraph alone is why we're like still have World Series alone, because this is all the evidence I need for them being like, hey, we need to tune Big Map a little bit to be like more of like the premier battle royale experience that we want it to be from like a viewership standpoint, and also like from a competition side, because I think they've found that with the last couple of years, like with the last couple of years of World Series of Warzone, it's been tough, I think, for them to land on like that middle ground of like what makes competitors happy versus like what makes it a snooze fest to viewers. So now it's like, how do we land on like, this is ranked, and then this is exactly what we play for World Series, right? And we can get away from that, oh, certain things are GA'd and we don't use this and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, nope, what you're playing at World Series, what you're watching is exactly what you play in ranked, which is a whole other conversation for a greater Call of Duty that I won't get into right now, but it's very, very good if you are a fan. And that's why I think they're using this as their opportunity to gather all that data and feedback. So by the time we get to World Series in September, October, whenever, around when it normally is, we already have all of that fleshed out and ready to go.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Enigma, what is your initial thoughts? Because a lot of people are speculating whether World Series of Warzone is done, whether it's over, right? Like, and then we hear this, and it's like, okay, hold on. Like, is this gonna be World Series now? Like, this shit. So yeah, tell me what you think.
I don't know if people on X just have like separation anxiety, but I'm getting pretty sick of people just massively jumping the gun when it comes to things being dead. Every other fucking letter is always about, oh, this thing we got, it's like, if I want pancakes and waffles, I can have both. I don't have to have one, So we've got this situation now where I think Dan is actually spot on, because you got to think about the people that play Big Map and the people that play Resurgence. Two very different crowds. We've for a long time been trying to settle in like this weird mid ground, and it's kind of neither fully like made either of those parties happy. This for me feels like that's what they're trying to do, and even I believe it is that they'll be disabling ranked, right, while this is active. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to push people into this, fine-tune this mode a little bit, and then maybe start to push Big Map in that direction and turn it into more of a traditional BR experience, shall we say? Because I've got a lot of IRLs. They all play Warzone, but the way they play it is, I'm going to get my loot, I'm going to go find a corner, I'm going to set myself up to defend this POI. They don't play like we do, of course. Whereas Resurgence, the casuals that I know that play that, they're playing it trying to do what we do largely, where we play at a faster pace. Obviously, nowhere near, but like they're trying. So obviously it's weird because we've got like the whole blackout stuff coming and figuring out Avalon's launch and all that kind of stuff, whatever's happening with all this stuff. But I agree with Dan. I think that this is potentially them going, look, we got a future direction to go on Big Map here. And why would you do that and mention it in a competitive blog if it's not for World Series?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just happy that I'm not the only one who's thinking that way. Like a lot of people, I'm getting tagged, oh, this series means competitive's dead or World Series Warzone's dead, all that stuff. And I'm like, are we reading the same thing, right? Again, no one knows anything I don't know, right? But with this context in mind, I would have to assume that this is what I think World Series will probably be if it happens, right? So, but even tell me. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say real quick on that too, is that this also makes a lot of sense too, because if you look at other esports that are at EWC, I know Dota is doing it, and I think there's one or two other esports that are now doing it where EWC is part of a larger series for that esport. And I think that's a marketing thing to try, and that way it's not just like EWC isn't just this one and done thing all year. It's like they're trying to get a little bit more ingrained with those games to give you like a ramp hype up into the event that's there, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what this also feels like with this Resurgence series. It's not replacing World Series, but it's riding that EWC hype that we see and not letting it be just one and done.
Right.
At the end of the day, if World Series does happen, this is just, those two events are an extra 200K in prize pool. Like that's all it, and then a more structured event for everybody to attend to. And with that, being able to elevate Call of Duty as a whole, not just Warzone, like the fact that Warzone is going to be a part of like CDL and challengers, that's fucking badass. Like, I already have Tommy and Ben texting me like, yo, we got to do something together. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm down. Right. Like this is only going to create hype for literally everything. Cause the same way that if people in the CDL, some of them might tune in to the Warzone side of things. When people that tune into the Warzone side of things, hey, you know, they might stay and tune in for the Champs Sunday, right? Like, you know, it's a lot of different things going on here. But yeah, Ebatez, sorry, go ahead, bro. Tommy Mingzuma.
I have a lot I actually want to say about this, and this is really cool because for me, I mean, dude, you're talking to the #1 Iron Trials glazer right here, you know, 75K Twitch rivals. Don't want to glaze too hard. But, you know, anyways, I'm a big Iron Trials guy, and I know back then, it was like, what, 3 years ago, we had this mode, they took it out, and everybody was pissed, and it was like, why isn't this our ranked mode? Because back then, we didn't have ranked. Like, everyone was like, yo, we need to bring this back and put it in ranked. Also, the good thing about this is we have always pushed to try to separate Resurgence from Big Map. Now, they gave us like a true BR experience when they came out with the Big Map again, and it like felt good. And now it's kind of like maybe like diluted a little bit, but they need to really separate these things where they're two different experiences, like Resurgence being like one thing, Big Map being one thing. Adding the Iron Trials mode and that being like the ranked mode or whatever for Big Map is amazing because it's going to separate that feeling from the people that don't like Resurgence or people like Huskers, Breadman. I'm sure there's a lot of casuals that like Big Map, don't like Resurgence. So this will be a completely different experience. And it's also like a true BR feeling because Big Map BR right now is just so unforgiving. Like you could be rotating and just get shot in the back and you're just dead instantly. Yeah. Where this stuff is like, this is just going to make a BR experience so much more enjoyable in my opinion, and especially on a competitive level. Like this will be, you watch Apex, I mean dude, their champs was insane, and the TTKs like aren't crazy. There's opportunities for like some finesse. Like if you're not just dead instantly. If you didn't know there was a team there, you're not just dead instantly. And I think that we're trying to get away from that. Like we're trying to get, like, I could tell that they're trying to get to a more true BR feel because they took out self-revives, I believe, on the Big Map, right? And even gas mask. So they're trying to like come up with something that is going to feel a little bit more like a BR and maybe slow down people and stuff. So I think Iron Trials or Iron Gauntlet is going to be sick for the Big Map. I'm curious how to see they balance it with like Resurgence ranked and stuff. I don't know how that's going to work or if people will like that, but I think everybody should be giving it a chance 100%.
Yeah, I'm confused on like how they like. Let me continue what it says in this next thing because I'm a little bit confused on this, and maybe you guys can understand a little bit better. But they said, importantly, we'll be rotating these modes at defined intervals rather than running multiple competitive modes in parallel. Iron Gauntlet will be enabled during specific sprints that will be proactively communicated throughout the season. While Iron Gauntlet is active, ranked play Resurgence will be temporarily disabled. This approach will bring the competitive community together in an ecosystem with healthier matchmaking, stronger competition in matches, and exciting moments for our competitive community to chase unique rewards, while also giving us clear insights into how each platform performs. So I kind of like this. I want to know what you guys think though on what exactly does it mean? Like, right, ranked Resurgence is coming and it's Havens, right? They made a tweet talking about all that. Yeah, they made a tweet. Yeah, I know people were pissed when they saw Rebirth on the cover of that blog, bro. But like, they made that they announced that, so now they're saying that they're gonna, whenever this comes out, they're gonna stop. That's everybody focus on this. But what exactly does this look like? What does this mean, right? Because is it gonna be like Fortnite Cash Cups? Is this going to be a leaderboard event? Like, what does this mean? Is it going to be ranked, but just for like, you know, a certain time?
For me, I think the perfect opportunity to utilize this is at the end of each season, right? So you play your first season of ranked, and instead of it being like, all right, you kind of reset and tomorrow you're playing ranked again, actually you've got a week or two of this new mode, and then we try it and we see how it goes, because all your ranked demons are going to want to be playing something, and maybe that's the way to kind of get the pool to go over. I don't think having it for like a full season and disabling rank for a full season would be, or even half a season would be a good way of doing things. I think just as they said, they call it, I think the phrase they use is specific sprints. So I'm going to assume it's going to be short periods, and for
Like
me
a
that
quick-
says. Yeah, a little like, all right, guys, we're gonna just drop in a window
Like a
here where
week
you can
or
go and
two.
play this other mode. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what, like, I want to see what they mean by this, because, like, okay, the whole dropping rank play and then disabling it, right? I actually don't mind that as long as it's not for an extensive period of time. And it really just depends on what's the product that they're giving the community here. Because I do think that one thing that they said there is give us clear insight into how each format performs. When they do this, they can then compare the numbers for BR versus Resurgence in the competitive world and see where those two lie. Because I know right now there's a big group of people that are like, oh, I love BR competitive. Oh, I love Resurgence competitive. Well, when you get data that tells you what you should do moving forward, right? So yeah, I don't know. Any other Ebatez, Dandra, what do you guys, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think it could possibly be?
Oh, Dan.
I mean, I think it's a good idea. I think the big word that Enigma hit on is like the specific sprints is the thing like the people need to think to focus on, because I think it is, yes, like you are forcing people to go play it, but to me it does feel like, hey, you know, we'll allow ranked will be open, you know, maybe from the start of a season until Reloaded, and then it's like for those 2 weeks after Reloaded or a week at that, it's like, hey, here it is. So specific and proactive are the words that like jump out to me, that lets me know you're going to know plenty ahead of time. It's not like you're just going to be somebody who wants to hop on ranked and all of a sudden it's gone. Like you're going to know ahead of time. And it feels like to me the best time to do that is after like basically a season has ended or something like that, right? That you've been able to go on through and that they'll try and hype it on up. But I'm right there with you. The one thing I've learned about specifically Warzone is that they love making database decisions. They love making decisions based off of data that they can get. And that's exactly what this seems like to me. So it's like they're trying really hard to get as much data as they can for this, because I think they're really worried about seeing both ranked and this and be open and just be like, oh, nobody's going to go play Iron Gauntlet because we have ranked. Why would I go play this other mode? Because I just want to grind ranked and get there, because that's where all of us, our comp people, want to go ahead and play, right? That's there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What do you think, Ebatez?
I feel like something we haven't really touched on too. I mean, this is probably going to be on Avalon, right? I would assume.
I hope so. Please.
And that to me just screams like a new beginning, like a fresh start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got a new map, we got a new mode, there's like new direction, stuff like that. And I think that this will really, really excite people. And there is a very strong possibility that we could have big map tournaments that are very successful, even if they're online. Hopefully we get a LAN, obviously, but they could really be successful even if it's an online tournament, because I understand like the logistics of having 100 players or 150 players online is really tough. But I think that this will still really excite both parties, the casual, like the competitors, the big map, the Resurgence lovers. Like I think it's super exciting.
I mean,
Coming to the land thing, though, I think that we saw last year what is likely to be the case, and that is to tack it onto the end of card next. That likely saves them a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, obviously, no idea, but it looked to me like the last year was essentially, okay, well, a shipment of folks go out, shipment of folks come in. We don't have to do too much else otherwise. And that seemed to be a bit of the saving of, I mean, you got to think like how much money it takes just to hire out a venue and do all that bit.
100%.
So, yeah, I think that will likely. So what we do is we just keep an eye on when card next is going to be announced, and well, there's the calendar set up for the year.
yeah, I mean, one thing I'm curious too is we haven't touched on this either. Yeah, Avalon, it like Avalon or Verdansk, right? But we're not even considering that. Yo, is Iron Gauntlet a completely separate mode from BR, and then is it a completely separate mode from Blackout? Right? Like, that's another. Like, is Iron Gauntlet gonna be Blackout, or is it going to be BR? Is it going to be its own entity? There's still a lot of questions here on like what exactly this is going to be.
It feels like they are like actively testing it, because like that was like the idea to me, was like they're going to use the LTM to be like, how do people feel about wingsuits and grappling? And if everybody's like, yo, this shit is lit, okay, we move that over the main BR experience. And Iron Gauntlet seems like to me is like the wrapper, right? It's the rule set, it's the settings, it's health, it's all that stuff that can be applied from map to map that's there. And I think, you know, perfect world, we have rotating maps. The game is set up to do it. That's why Avalon is sick, is because it's all the assets from Endgame, so it's not a whole brand new map download. So we can keep Verdansk and Avalon at the same time if we want to. And I really just hope that's what it is. Like, I hope that's like where we're heading, is that it's just like we're getting this like, hey, let's try all this stuff and we're gonna take the best of the best, and that's where we're landing on, and that's it moving forward.
Damn, man. I'm so like, oh, this is just like a little piece of the pie. I'm hoping that this is cool and we have like think about how dope it would be if, let's say, this continues next year, right? Even this year, if we do the Resurgence series for the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year, it's this Iron Trials, Iron Gauntlet series leading up into World Series of Warzone. Like, bro, like that would be insane.
That's insane.
That would like especially after the year we just had, fellas. I never thought I'd be sitting here having this conversation with you guys.
No, I mean, again, we're in such early days. Like, I know that we look over at other spaces and they do wonderful things at times, but it's a case of we're only in year 3. If you want to look at what those other spaces were doing in year 3, it was tough going because you've got to figure out all these different things. Obviously, we get the advantage of learning from what those other spaces did and trying to replicate in some ways or adapt into our own formats. But the fact that we are moving as we are, also, by the way, that fully confirms that Mr. McDonald will be a part of this scene for us for this year. Cannot stress to you guys how much work he does for us and how much batting he has done for us over the years. So that is a fantastic. We basically just fucking signed at the heart of the scene, essentially.
I agree.
Sorry, Hector. You're the soul. You're the soul.
No. I don't want no. I'm good.
Going back
No,
to Cleveland.
100%.
I don't want no.
It is.
I mean,
getting to have him in here as well, and like obviously then he'll have his crew alongside him. Hopefully, I don't know. It just speaks volumes for like we get this very early situation of going, because was it last year or the year before where like Adam was brought in like 2 weeks before World Series was announced?
Like every
he was
last year.
Yeah.
It's like every year.
So now he's got time to
he's
go,
the
okay,
GOAT.
let's set it up properly. So what that will do for our year.
Yeah, Adam is the fucking GOAT. I don't think a lot of people. He's the unsung hero, but that guy, given the circumstances with everything, he comes in and he puts in fucking belt to ass. Work. You know, he puts in work. So, but go ahead, Ebatez.
That's something I talked on the last podcast is that, or I guess it wasn't even a podcast, it was when we were yapping with Shifty, but Adam has realistically been given not the time or resources, in my opinion, to have like a successful like setup for like the year. I mean, the last time I think he had it was London, and obviously I think London was incredible. Adam's been with Game Battles, like some background. Like I used to work at Game Battles when I was in college, and I worked with Adam, and even then, like he was so passionate, and he's still going hard. Like even having a conversation with him today, like that guy cares so much about Warzone. So for like all the viewers, the people that don't know him, that guy cares a lot, and we're in really, really good hands as long as he has the resources that he, you know, is deserving of. So super excited for him, and I'm glad that he's a part of the team early on this year, because I think last year was like freaking May or June that he was like brought on, which is so late. So very stoked to have him. It's exciting.
It's gonna be a good year, fellas. It's gonna be a good fucking year.
Yeah, he was one of those guys, well, that like was there in the day of the opens, of, you know, the conception of the whole open process that, you know, we are now going to get, of the pro point process that we might end up implementing, and all sorts of other different bits and pieces. There's like, I mean, this guy loves competitive as well. It's like runs in his veins. So I mean, oh man, excited for it to all kick off. When do we kick off? We're not at that bit yet. Never
February
mind. I'm
9th.
sorry, I'm getting ahead.
February 9th.
February 9th.
Literally, PCL ends
that's the open though, right?
That's the quals. Yeah. But the actual LAN is the
March 27th through 29th.
There it is. Yeah. And then throughout that, it'll be quals throughout that entire month, and then the LAN itself. Which we're going to get into. So let me read this, then we'll go straight into it, boys. So they said, to round off the 2026 offering, later today, we'll be posting an official blog detailing the brand new Call of Duty Warzone Resurgence Series, a new circuit where the best Resurgence players will compete for their share of a massive prize pool across months of intense competition beginning next month. Keep an eye out on the blog on Call of Duty Esports. So let me pull up that blog right now, because I do have it here. Second. All right. So here it is, man. This is what they call the Call of Duty Resurgence Series, right? So yeah, boys, I mean, before we even talk about it, right? What are y'all thinking? What's initially when you guys saw this? Okay, let me just say, initially when y'all found out about this, what was y'all's initial thoughts?
I mean, it was crazy, because when I first heard about it, I heard that it was like, oh, it's some type of LAN that culminates at DreamHack Atlanta. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sick. Okay, cool. And then it was like yesterday that I learned that it's like, oh, also Birmingham, by the way. So I was like, oh, holy shit. This is actually like the back-to-back is what's insane to me, and like how fast it is. It's like Quals in March, you're going to land, or quals in February, go to land in March. Quals in April, you're going to land in May. It's just like every month, it is just non-stop Warzone for whatever you want. And that was like what was cool to me, because like, you know, we've had this times where it's like we go through quals and then it's like a month and a half until we get to land, and it feels like hype kind of dies down a little bit. It's just like there's no opportunity to breathe, and I think that's what's sick. It's just it's like non-stop, something to watch, something is going on, something to look forward to.
Yeah. Shit's about to be a movie. Shit's about to be a movie, man. So let me real quick go over everything, right? So Call of Duty.
Oh my gosh, Shifty's alive.
Shifty's here. No, you're good. You're good. Yo.
Oh, Jesus.
So, dude, Birmingham's far. How far is Birmingham from London?
2 hours on the train, tops.
So, are we gonna fly?
Train.
Are we gonna fly to London?
To Birmingham. No.
Oh, okay.
No, you're flying to Birmingham. Like you're flying to Birmingham, and then there's a connected railway, and it's like 5 minutes on a train to the venue. So it's
what the hell?
Super easy.
Hell yeah! Hold on.
Stay in Birmingham City Centre though. Do not, unless you really have to, because like maybe Hector, you've got like a bunch of equipment and stuff you don't want to be lugging around. Do not get a hotel out by the venue. The reason is the venue's out in the middle of pretty much nowhere. You do have the railway connection, but you don't want to be stuck having to get like the last train and stuff. And also, it will cost you a fortune out there. Stay in Birmingham City Centre. It's not as bad as people have you believe. I promise. It's not great, but it's not as bad as people have you believe.
What's our probability of getting stabbed here, buddy? That's my question.
Not high, brother. I have been there countless times. All right, I am fine.
All right. Well, you get to be my bodyguard. So.
If you want a nice spot with great meals and all that, go to the jewelry quarter. That is the nice area. So people like Brax, they're not allowed to come along. But like, you know, the rest of you guys, you're all welcome.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's insane. Well, look, Birmingham is the first one, right? So I'm gonna put a little asterisk. I don't know how you say that word. Here, this is 1.2 million prize pool, but that does include 1 million of that being Esports World Cup. So this is technically 200K. So it's 200K lands back to back leading up to EWC. That all starts February 9th, which is that's in like 2 weeks. So we will be hosting scrims every day. Get ready. All right. So, all right, let's go over, man. So in 2026, COD WRS includes online qualifiers. So we're going to break all this down because I know a lot of people are super confused about this. Includes online qualifiers, 2 mid-season LAN tournaments at DreamHack Birmingham and DreamHack Atlanta, and culminates in a championship at the Esports World Cup in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So for those of you that don't know, other esports do this. I believe Apex did this, I think. And I know Fortnite for sure did it, where they have little LANs, I think they're actually DreamHack, other LANs throughout the year that give you opportunities and spots to compete at Esports World Cup. So they're still going to have the regular Esports World Cup quals like they normally do, right? But this is now an extra way to get in if you want, right? So this is the way things are going to work. And it's a little bit confusing, and boys, correct me. I kind of want you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But so February, we're going to have Birmingham qualifiers, which starts February 9th, right? This will go on till probably the beginning of March, mid-March, all the quals. And from there, 4 spots. No. From there, I believe it's 32, only 5?
5 from qualifiers. Make it.
Oh, it's right here. It's right here.
Actually, scroll down to the next one, because that's a way better image.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you were talking about this one. All right. So, let's make that nice and big. There we go. Okay. Then it makes it smaller. Oh, nice. Never mind. I'm faded. Okay. So here is the way it's going to work for qualifiers, right? Now, I will say I'm going to make this apparent. I really wish that all the expansion regions could compete here if they wanted to. I'm going to preface this the entire time, and I'm going to start by that saying, like, I am kind of sad for my Latin American players here. They technically cannot compete in the online portion of this. They have to go in person, which kind of is crazy. Like, that's kind of insane, which we will go over.
Yeah, more on that, but
I wonder what if they just play out of America, like literally just boot camp in America?
So the way I got told that the rules are 2 out of the 3 players have to have residency in the region that you're playing from. So it's the exact same rules as Esports World Cup.
That's definitely not worth it. That's definitely not worth it. Good Lord.
It's Esports World Cup rules. That's why it's like this.
Okay.
So we'll go over it. But for North America and EU, you will have open qualifiers, right? So yeah, open qualifiers, which is online, right? Right? Yeah. Open qualifiers online. The top 32, whatever, they're gonna dwindle it down to the top 5 teams in the online portion. From there, we're gonna have 32 trios that go to LAN before the finals, right? And the top 6 go to. You know what? That doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, it does.
Brother, you are confusing the hell out of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to explain it better? Because I get it in my head. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is basically everything up until LAN is exactly like World Series, right? So it's all online. You have the upper, lower, where we're eliminating teams all the way, right? Through the online, top 5 make it to LAN. They already have their spot. Bang, you're good. There's
That's top
also
5
going to be the
NA and top 5
opportunity.
EU, by the way. So
That's why I was
This is for
confused.
each region.
Yeah.
So this is for each region. At DreamHack, there is also going to be a LAN open that you can show up and sign up and compete while you're there. And 32 trios will compete through that LAN open through the weekend, and top 6 will then be able to make it to those LAN finals that are there. Now, the question I have is that I see top 5 from qualifiers are there for both. Okay, never mind. This is good because there's top 5 from qualifiers. So that's your 10, right? So it's both 5 from NA, 5 from EU, so that's 10, and then the other 6 come from that LAN that happened at DreamHack, right? So it's like bang.
So
what we're there.
How do those 32 teams get chosen though?
that's what I'm saying. I wonder if
So
people are gonna hate me for this. Or do you know? Is there a system?
Well, I don't know just yet, and we'll potentially speak to Adam about it. But I wonder if this is where we can bring in something like, look, these, like, let's say 60 teams are trying to sign up. Like when we create the point system or all that kind of stuff, it's like, look, these players and these teams have competitive history, and maybe they should take priority. I don't know, so that's just me completely shooting out there. But like, go on.
Why is this just not like Passion Pit? Why is it not they just cap the amount of teams that sign up and they're going to be like, you signed up, you're here, and it's just they're running lobbies, and it's like they're doing the same thing for opens where it's like you're in top half, you move on to the next heat. Cool. And
Are we
they're
going to be limited on the
another
amount of
lobby.
space?
Wait, pause.
Somehow select teams.
Go ahead, Hector.
Adam just said team pass sales. So all these 32 trios will all have to buy team passes. Some are very important second part here, which I think is a great. I think this is good. Some are held for select teams, more specifically the expansion regions. So I'm assuming people like Dusamir, the teams that like perform really good or have a history of going to LAN, they'll be able to buy a team pass. And then same process as challengers. So the way that this looks like, it's kind of like CWL back in the day. Like people could just buy a team pass, go and compete. Anybody can do it. So now I'm wondering, is it the first 32 trios? Like, is it just like, hey, first come, first serve? Like whoever buys it? Like
that's kind of how it works in challengers, dog. Like
how many are there in challengers though?
Oh, in challengers they can be like 200 to 300 teams. Like, but the thing is, you got to remember as well. The reason why it might be limited to 32 is like we don't have like the system of knocking half the teams out every single step of the way, and we'll probably have like a bit of a round robin process. But the second bit is space, right? We're going to be sharing with challengers and the COD League, so. We probably don't have. I would assume that we will have a portion of the room, not the majority of the room.
Maybe we can get clarification from Mr. Adam on just a little high level of how the LAN works. Of like, is it just 32 team passes, or is it going to be more? And there's multiple rounds where people get eliminated. Is it a round robin? Like,
yeah,
I think Unrational's question is a good one about is it just the first 32 that buy? I know that we're saying that some held up for select teams. Yeah, I feel like there may need to be some sort of process in place because I do very much so worry about like, I don't know. And I'm sure they're already thinking about this. Like, how do we stop, first of all, resellers, because those losers will try and do anything. But also then just, I don't know, like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we love the open process. We love the fact that anybody can try and attend these things and get and qualify through. But if you're saying that, Unrational's team can't get in there for Jerry and his buddies, personally, I want, Gary and that should be there. So, it says 512 trios will battle for the 32 spots.
That's for open.
No, that's Sorry, Godfella, I think you're misreading that. The 32 is the LAN open.
Yeah, because they're two separate, like, right? Like the best teams from NA will more than likely qualify in the top 5. That is, dude, that's gonna be cinema. Think about that. Like qualifiers, the top 5, like the top 5, bro. Oh my God, watch parties are gonna go fucking nuts. It's gonna be so entertaining to watch. And then 32 trios at LAN, they're gonna take the top 6 from there. Like it's gonna be a fucking battle. So 32 total. Yes, first teams to purchase outside of those that are held. More info on that process will come out soon.
Oh,
okay.
Right. Amazing.
So
All
it's
right,
like two lobbies then running. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think the thing is as well, like people have got to remember that this is not the only way that you can qualify. Obviously, this is what we're focusing on, but people jump in the gun a little bit in chat at points, and it's like, no, there'll be plenty more opportunities for teams to get through. So,
yeah. Okay.
Relax.
I'm curious to see what that means as far as like how many are they saving for certain players? Because like, like for example, Amir and them, right? Like I hope that they can get the opportunity to buy one of these, right? As opposed to, I just want to see competitive lobbies. I've always said that, and as long as we can get as many teams as possible, good teams in this LAN open, like more than likely what's going to happen is there's going to be some beef on who gets the opportunity to buy these or not. And I think they're going to lean more towards the expansion regions because what you can argue that, hey, like if you wanted to qual, you would have made it through your, like, and let's say NA teams or EU teams. If y'all wanted to qual, you would have made it in your top 5, but you didn't. Like, so let's say, for example, the 6th place team in qualifier finals, do they get held? You know what? Like, do they get a team pass out for them? Because what if they want to go, right? Like, you know, it's gonna, dude. I'm excited. I don't know how that's gonna go.
What's crazy to me too is that like let's just even take like North America as an example for like some of these really strong LATAM teams that show up. Like let's say one of those LATAM teams makes top 4 and qualifies to EWC off of this LAN. You got to think that now is a top LATAM team that is now not trying to play through EWC online qualifiers, and now all of a sudden now we like that opens up the space as well for that particular region to potentially like have some movement as well.
Oh, Echo and Adam are having a great chat here. 2 big brains. That's not a surprise. Echo asked, if a team qualifies for EWC at the event, can they also play the next one? So say you qualify at Birmingham, can you then go and play in DreamHack Atlantic? That's 100K, right? Up for grabs.
Yeah.
Adam confirms that yes, the qualification spot would roll down.
Nice.
So that adds a couple of things in. So I mean, yeah, that it might see a couple, because I mean, I imagine there's a couple of teams thinking, all right, we just walk Atlanta, but now you could come play Birmingham if you wish. And have your qualification already guaranteed and just play for the extra money.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. By the way, JBA, yes, if you are a Latin American team, you can play in the LAN Open, just not in the NA and EU Open qualifiers right here. That makes sense. They can't play in the online portion. But like, dude, think about it. Like, I mean, I will say like Amir and them are good, but like this. You have to be fucking good to make this, like top 5 in your region, and if not, because like to fly all the way with you have a org, whatever, you have to fly all the way to Birmingham. If you like get hotels, get like, dude, that is a trip and a half.
The first LAN that I ever worked was in Amsterdam for peanuts, right? And Panda flew over from Mexico and won it. So it is not out the realm of possibility. It was more on his plane ticket than the prize money. So, I mean, you never know if they're willing. If they got the passion to do it.
Passion pit, man. That's why it's called the passion pit, baby.
That's
why we love it.
Levi, so no, you don't get a spot for these. For the 2 LANs, you guys can go to the LAN opens, but you cannot do the online portion, if that makes sense. So you can still go to LAN open if you guys buy a team pass, and then your org sends you out and you can compete on LAN, but which is, I mean, I guess that's pretty cool. But the open quals itself, you cannot compete in the open qualifiers online. That's only for NA and EU. At the end of the day, this is to get to Esports World Cup, but everybody wants to compete in everything, which makes sense, right? I would want to too. So for all the expansion regions, you cannot play in the open qualifiers, but you can play in the LAN open if you buy one of the 32 team passes. So I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're backed by an org, they're going to buy the team passes and send you out, right?
Depends on your contract.
Damn, that
It's
would
tough
suck.
for APAC. It's tough for APAC. It's always a tough situation, unfortunately.
I did see somebody in chat also ask a question, and I think this also makes a lot of sense too, where they said like, does this mean less spots for the expansion regions or other regions? And that's actually, I think, because we have this is why you saw the additional teams added, right? The additional 7, right? Because now we're at 28 total, but we still get to keep most of the spots from those regions that are there. So it's like, it may be similar or almost close to the same expansion region or all of the region slots, just now there's additional teams who qualify through this as well, which I think is kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is gonna be a battle. Like, it's gonna be a battle. I'm curious to see how they do it. It's a big task. 32 teams all trying to get by a team pass. I just hope they find a way to make it to where people can't, like you said, scalp them. Like,
Bro.
you know?
We also don't want, like, just, no offense, like randoms like signing up, bro. Like, no offense, you know what I mean? Like, it would just suck if like the team passes just went to like some random team that just obviously isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have to wait. Like Adam says, there's like an actual process to it. So maybe there's like, you sign up as a trio. They look at your trio saying, hey, obviously this is like a competitive team who has history playing in, you know, all the lands and competition we've had the last couple of years. So like they get a higher priority than these randos could click checkout faster on a website than other people.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do it, because you'd also don't want to be gatekeepy, right? It's not like you're gonna like limit anyone from competing.
I have to imagine that there is like some level of like participation in previous competition, right? Because, but that's the other side of it too. Is like COD is going to want the best teams at this LAN open. Like, it's better marketing. It looks better. It's a higher level of competition. If you have, of the 32 trios, if 25 of them are chuckle fucks who are getting choke slammed, then it's like, well, who cares? Like, why is this a good system at all? You know?
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's like, we have got people here saying, what if a team shows up to LAN and go lights out? Look, I will show my bare ass if someone rocks up to the Atlanta DreamHack and choke slams Soccer and Co. Like, sorry, it just doesn't. It's not happening. To be completely honest, but. Don't get me wrong, would love to see a surprise team come through and qualify and all that. That's exactly why all of us here and so many of us in the space have pushed for open qualifiers over the last couple of years, which we now have through World Series and EWC and this too. The open qualifier opportunity is there. But I do think there has to be some sort of system in place for because I mean, Ben came straight in and said, look, it'll immediately sell out. People will instantly hit the button. And I think that there will be a couple of. It's a tough one because I get it. I would love to see a couple of folks who just hope to have a good time, right? Because that's what it's supposed to be as well. It's supposed to be a social event in many ways. You rock up, you all enjoy each other's company. So, but then if you're saying, okay, well, one of our teams that came second in World Series LAN or something can't get there, it just doesn't make sense.
No.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know how they're gonna do this. I can't even begin to think about what's going to go down here and how they choose, because somebody's going to be mad. Somebody's always going to be fucking mad.
Sure.
Like no matter what, right? Like,
yeah.
I will say though, this shit gonna be like, bro, think about how crazy competitive it's going to be when they're in the final lobby and the top 5 move on. Like that, the qualifier final is going to be insane. And then think about in the LAN open, when we have, I'm assuming it's going to be it's 32 trios, 16 from there, or 16 teams and 16 teams from there. They're going to move on to, what would that be? So 16 teams from there, the top 8 from each lobby, right?
Yep.
And then from there, top 6 move on. Oh my God, this shit could be cinema. Oh man. This is just the beginning too. Imagine if in a year from now, this is 64. Then after that, this takes me back to the CWL era of things. Like, dude, the story of I believe it was E United. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Ben J's in here. E United went through open quals and then made it to group play. And then did they win the fucking event? Was that E United?
I don't think they won the one where they went through open, but they got a decent performance, and then that got them into the position where they were consistently in groups from there on. Okay. And then obviously they had Simp and took over the damn world.
That's the one that they won.
A better historian than me.
Yeah, that's what I still remember that run. I think I was there for that event in person, and I know EU United made the run to get to groups and stuff like that. So, dude, I'm all for like having anybody come in and pop the fuck off and make the run to get to finals, which is gonna be dope. I hope we see some Cinderella stories. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, but I hope that there's opportunity for people to do it. Right now, it's going to be whoever clicks the button first, literally.
I mean, even then though, like it's still like, you know, one of the things I've been trying to fight in Warzone is that like we have to kind of give a shit about more than just the people who win. And even then, it's still an opportunity to birth storylines and for players to prove themselves. And that to me is like what's hype, right? I mean, look at EWC last year. They didn't even make the second day, but we all looked at that APAC team being like, wow, they're actually like fucking good in shooting. What happens if they're in a region with more competition and they have more opportunities, right? Like we have all of these questions that are there. And do we see some of these teams show up to a LAN open and it's like, hey, maybe they might not perform the best online, but when LAN's a completely different story, do all of a sudden we start seeing these new teams, these new faces, and maybe that's like a new opportunity to invite things to like PCL and Total Frenzies and whatever, you know, to have them keep going.
Yeah. Damn, bro.
Ben J is in the waiting room if you do want to drag him in here.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Mr. Nasim.
Okay, I'm gonna drag him. I'm gonna have to redo some stuff. Okay, give me one second. You guys can yap it up.
Bro, this is the collab we've always asked for. The
Mr.
CDL
Ben.
X Warzone collab. The CDL X Warzone collab.
For like,
What's good,
holy-
Benjamin?
like,
What's
what's
good?
good? What's good? What up,
Like
what
it
up,
really
what
took
up?
Warzone to save CDL. Oh my god, who would have thought the day came, bro?
Okay.
It really took the Warzone to save the CDL.
I love this guy. All right, hold on.
The
Give me 1
terms are
second.
tabled.
Give me 1 second, boys. You guys yap. Let me quickly fix this real quick.
Fix all the cams. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Me and
Pullze
Dan can
Check,
share a
man.
box. We've done this before. We can happily tuck ourselves off in one corner.
Yeah,
There we go. W.
Ben, how you doing, man? Everything good?
Yeah, I got a nice little fresh haircut today. Today's my like last day at chores day because we got watch parties this weekend for the CDL. And then I hopefully got enough flight on Monday to go to Dallas for Major 1, but we'll see. We'll see what happens because the
mean, hopefully?
weather and the weather in the NA is just hella sketchy this week.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, it's super
Dallas is
sketchy.
having like an insane like snowstorm or something. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's pretty
Everywhere
bad.
from Dallas to Boston, basically. Like if you draw a line from Dallas to like Atlanta and then all the way up to like Maine.
Interesting.
Across.
Ben, I actually have a question for you. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I know you're pretty like knowledgeable about like this whole like on like logistics and how stuff works.
Yeah.
So like for a DreamHack event, how would that work with like a Challengers CDL and also like Warzone being the same thing? Like, have you heard anything? Like, is Warzone using like the Challenger?
Hey, bro, can't
computers?
wait.
Like,
Bro, can't wait 2 minutes to ask this question. Hold on.
oh my God,
we're
so yeah,
getting- we're
talk to me
getting-
soon.
yeah.
That's one of the things we're going to talk about.
Okay,
Right,
my
right.
bad.
No, do you want me to address it or you want me to wait?
Hector, your
Wait, 2
call.
seconds. I'm almost done.
All right, bet.
Hector's got to fix his overlay and then we can get into it.
All right, bet.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
almost
just
done.
give you, while Hector's doing, I'll give you kind of my thoughts. I'm surprised it's honestly taken this long for Activision to do something like this. And I wonder if really the reason is that, you know, obviously we all loved MLG back in the day and that circuit ran and kind of ended in 2019 when, you know, Activision transitioned the ML team out, went to kind of the Overwatch League, CDL, BlizzCon model, COVID hit. So they didn't really have like a first party or a straight vendor that was running these like festival events. And obviously with DreamHack, really, it seems like very much scaling their presence now that a bunch of other competitors are kind of out of the scene. I'm not surprised that this is happening now, and I assume there's a smaller version of what they want to do in the future, right? Birmingham's only going to be 16 teams in finals. I'm sure they'd love to do a full 32 or whatever. But it's awesome. I'm glad, I'm glad they're doing it, you know. And I think to the point you guys were making earlier in the show, the part I'm most excited for is the cross content, right? Because you're gonna have everybody separate silos and people are gonna be locked in for a day or two. You go to the festival, people are creating content, they're gonna interact with each other, stay in the same hotels, be on the same flights, going there and forth. Like that synergy is like really awesome. And I'm excited that we're gonna have that multiple times this year.
We're good now.
Actually,
We can
3
talk about
times.
everything. Yeah.
3 times if you think about it. Yeah.
I hope they like.
true.
I would low key stay an extra week. I might have to see because it's Warzone first, right, and then CDO after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I might have to stay for that one. But yeah, that I'm telling you, bro, we talked about this in a podcast today, right before Call of Duty Next, and we said like how crazy would it be to have CDL in an event with Warzone, and it would just amplify everything. Like it's literally like COD XP, but like this. Now imagine if they did COD XP with the new game coming out, but you have COD Champs there, you have World Series of Warzone there, and then you have a couple days later you have COD Next. Like that would be absolutely cinema. Go ahead, Chinese, clip it and ship it to the team so they can get it approved, you know. But no, but yeah, Ben, man, chat. For those of you that don't know who Ben is the smartest man in the CDL. Okay, guys, he's the.
It's too much gas, bro. It's too much gas.
I already know this is going to get clipped. No, but Ben knows a lot about the way things work, a lot of things behind the scenes. And yeah, Ebatez, you had a couple questions for him, so I'll let you take it over, man. But Ben J, feel free. We got no rules here, so you say whatever the hell you want.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, listen, Ben. You know the Warzone scene. They'll be nice to you, man. I promise they're nice over here. You know, I've seen some of the chat. When you're doing the flank and stuff, they're cooking you. But listen, the Warzone guys, I swear, they're good people. I mentioned earlier, like, I mean, I'll repeat my question, and I would love to hear your opinion or your insight on this, because I know you're very aware of like the logistics, like how events are running. You know, I know there's challengers, CDL going to DreamHack. So like, what's that look like with Warzone kind of getting thrown in there? And like, are we going to be using their PCs, their setups? Are they kind of streamlining everything together? So
Yeah, so Birmingham's going to be a lit event. We haven't been back as a COD team to Birmingham since, Tommy's in the chat, 2017. We had an event in World War II. Tommy didn't play particularly well at that event, lost to Doug Sensamartin. Won the next event afterwards, but that's all that people remember. But we had a World War II event there, and it was pretty cool. It was during an I-Series. Used to be a company that ran very similar to what you see to DreamHack. It was called I-Series. And we haven't been back here in like 2017, what, almost 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah.
My guess is, I know you guys are talking about it. It's at the NEC. It's kind of a big convention center complex. From what I know, CDL, because of the size of CDL, and they've actually sold like too many tickets. Like they put CDL tickets on sale and they like instantly sold out. They put another batch on sale, they instantly sold out. Then they rearranged the room and did another third sale like a couple weeks ago, and that sold out, I think, in like less than a minute. But from what I know, CDL, I think, is like its own separate hall, and I think right next to it is probably where they'll have Warzone.
Okay.
Like they'll be like next to each other, but because of the size of CDL, which I assume is probably like 5,000 plus people, they'll probably have its own hall they can like, kind of cover entry and exit. As far as the gear they're going to use, so my guess is that it's probably some version of PCs that ESL Faceit probably uses in Europe, right? They run other events for different other games. They run other DreamHacks in Europe. My guess is that same kit, because whatever they use in NA for Challengers or DreamHack or whatever, they're not going to put that on a plane and send it across the ocean. Right. It's too expensive. Yeah. So they'll probably just use a lot of the EU gear, and they've run other like EU VR events like this before. So like, I wouldn't be surprised, for example, if this is like some gear they've used in the past for like Apex Legends and stuff like that.
So like, do they not have right now for Birmingham, right? Because Challengers is going to happen Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the list of what they're using out right now anywhere?
Well, I assume, it's DreamHack. They have like 5-6 games going on. They have, if you've ever been to a DreamHack, the amount of PCs, it's really funny because like last year at CDL, in the CDL hall behind us where our setup was like where they dead cased like everything for the event. And the amount of PC boxes and monitor boxes I saw in that corner of that room is astronomical. Thousands.
Holy shit.
So like, and pallets that they were using for those PCs. So like they source a lot of stuff for these DreamHack events. Tommy, yes, we were talking about the EM event. Sorry, Tom. But I don't think it'll be the same issue. I don't think we're gonna have weird EAMA monitors for this one with delay. I think they're gonna probably use the same stuff that they're using for this, and they're using for their BYOCs, that they're using for other, open tournaments they're gonna run for different PC and console games at DreamHack. So I think the gear will probably be good, but that's probably a better question for like, ESL Faceit folks to address that, probably in Discord or something.
Okay. I mean, what type of shit? Dude, it's the first time this ever happened, right? I'm curious to see what are some things that you think we could do to like for all of us to just collab, because we're all under the Call of Duty umbrella, right? Like we've been asking for this for so long. I feel like for years now, for this to finally happen. Like, I feel like this shit gonna be cinema. I don't know.
Yeah. I think like you're saying, like to do cross, like,
anything
stuff, right?
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
Isn't it Pullze Check flank crossover, by the way? You guys are doing it wrong. There's got to be something that you guys
we should do like we should do something. We should do like a crossover. So like, I'm sure we'll be on similar flights heading over there. You want to head there a day early, right? Because of jet lag and
probably
whatever. Yeah, we could do some kind of pre-thing. We can do some IRLs. Like the NEC complex is not just the convention center. There's a bunch of hotels, and there's a casino there. There's a bunch of shops. There's a bunch of shit to do like around the NEC. Obviously, I think as you guys touched on it, people are traveling in. I think the NEC would probably be expensive just with DreamHack going on. So you probably need to stay in downtown. But I'm sure there's stuff we can do around the event. You know what I'm saying? Especially on like Wednesdays and Thursdays. Like we're gonna be bored as fuck when we get there initially and like setting up. We do plenty of stuff then. And then as well as debating with Tommy is like, is there stuff to do like after? Like, should we stay a day or two after? Just do some bullshit in the UK. I wanted to go to a football game. Unfortunately, it turns out the weekend of this event is like final World Cup qualifiers in Europe. So there's no Premier League games, unfortunately, going on that weekend. Yeah.
But there's quals?
Birmingham are a championship squad. I wonder if they're playing.
Yeah, but it's a FIFA national window, I think is the issue.
Yeah, sorry. So what I'm saying is like the Premier League, they always skip, but sometimes the Championship, which is the second division, they don't sometimes.
I mean, it's just tough because there's a lot of championship players that are on World Cup squads, especially the level of these squads that are competing on that weekend. So, like, because I wanted to go to like a Villa game or something, but alas, it's going to be tough once you get the week before. But Hector, I'm sure we can come up with ideas.
Yeah.
If there are any brands or partners out there that would love to come up with some collective ideas,
There we go, Ben.
Let me know.
Pullze Check. I think we've all.
There we go, Ben.
Chewy, are you here? I hope you're here, Chewy. Shanice, hey, there's some good opportunities. I think it'd be awesome, man. But no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think one thing that'd be cool is just like showing the like storylines between each scene, because like CDL has insane storylines right now, Challengers has insane storylines right now, Warzone has insane storylines, and like just kind of sharing that with each other. Like these are the teams you should be paying attention to over the weekend if you want to, like, if you're in venue and walking around and just happen to like you're waiting on downtime, so you say let's go check on what's going on the Warzone side, or you're a Warzone player or a fan and you say what's going on in Challengers, right? If you want to go check it out, I think that'd be something really cool to kind of like help update everyone, because that's one thing I know we are kind of missing is like that level of cross pollination, because people come in and they're like the fact that we have EWC winners in game and people are like, who the fuck are these guys, is like insane to me, right? So like we do a little bit better job at that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak like the thing that would be really interesting about this event is like, I think it's a really good attachment because the CDL event in particular, there has not been a Call of Duty competitive for multiplayer event in Europe since 2020, right before COVID. There's an event at the Copper Box. And that was the last time we've been back. And those fans are really excited. I think you'll also get probably a lot of, French fans and Spanish fans, because now there are French and Spanish teams, or French Spanish orgs rather, now in the CDL. So you'll get a lot of those fans. And like on the way to enter this hall, they're going to experience the Warzone stuff going on. Maybe on breaks between matches, they'll go and check it out. So I'm very curious what the like seating area and the staging will look like. It's called Warzone Birmingham thing. And I think like that crossover stuff can be really, really, really interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, the potential questions, I have similar questions to you guys. Like the biggest question I have is just, 32 team passes those are going to go instantly. So I'm very curious how many they're going to pull back.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear is, I'm telling you, man, like somebody's going to be pissed here. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter who like they choose, they said they're keeping some for certain teams, which they say are the expansion ones, because technically if you wanted to qualify through NA, you have your own way to do it. Now, another thing that somebody brought up that Levi said, which if this is true, I feel like we need a desperate change of the rules. If Levi and anybody from any expansion region comes to try and qualify here, are they now, and I don't know if you're still here, Adam, but are they now ineligible to compete in their region if they do not make it? Because that's what Levi was saying. So if Levi, so for example, if Levi and his squad come from Australia to compete in these, if they do not qualify through that open from now for the rest of the EWC, are they now locked at North America?
No.
Oh,
Doesn't make sense.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, they posted the rules. If you scroll down that page you were looking at, Hector, they post like a 42-page like rule book.
Yeah, I have the rule book up.
Open is not considered regional. That's good. Then see, thought about this. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, so then Levi, everybody can go.
Levi was tweaking. Yeah, Levi was tweaking.
Okay. So when he said that, I was like, wait, what?
I wonder if Levi was responding more based on the fact that, like, would their org pay for them to be flown out? because obviously that's the other
That's
side
a
of the
different
world.
story, right?
Well, that's what I told him. I said
Yeah, but
he's
if you
more
qual,
than
you qual. Like,
Yeah, if you read in the rule book, it says, and it was on page, I found it. It was like somewhere in the middle. It's on the 21st page. Anyone that quals is going to get their flight and hotel covered.
21st
Obviously,
page,
if
you
you're
said?
playing in the open. So if you go to page 21 in this rule book at the bottom, anyone, you scroll down through there.
I see that.
Like anyone that quals will get a flight round trip economy, no business class, first class for anyone that quals. And then hotels, and then I think anyone for open, obviously, if you're going to be an open team, you have to pay
Pay your
whole
way.
there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but it's you or the org. But I mean, that's a W, so they're going to at least cover what, everybody but 6 teams. That's 10 of the teams. They're going to have full team E. That's pretty good. For the first one, I'm sure they'll expand this for future versions of the series, but that's a good start.
I mean, yo, these guys are saying page 20. I ain't reading all that. Yo,
Yeah.
no. So I'm glad that this is here because that like I know people had a lot of questions about it. Yeah, no one will be paying for the open, like for the hotels and flights and all that stuff. So the 32 teams that they're gonna have to pay their way there. But if you're one of the 10 teams to qualify from either 5 from EU, 5 from NA, you get all your stuff covered. Like if it was World Series of Warzone, you get your hotels and flights covered. Now, question for Ben J. Yeah, welcome to Passion Pit. Question for Ben J is right now, because in Warzone, I don't know if you know Ben J, but spectators is a big deal over here. We really want to watch, right?
Yeah.
Is everything sold out for Birmingham? This just got announced. Let's say Mr. Velocity in the chat is like, yo, I want to go support my favorite team. Can they still buy tickets now, or is it just completely sold out?
So I think Birmingham tickets are still available. The only thing I know that's like super sold out is I think the CDL tickets. Those are like, I was talking to some EFG people and they have literally sold like every single CDL ticket they can possibly sell into that event.
Good.
As for like the rest of the whole, I think 1 days and 3 days are still available, and I assume that gets you into DreamHack. I assume they're not going to do an add-on because they did an add-on. It would probably be announced with this. So to answer your question, yes. If someone wants to go and they haven't already bought a ticket,
Perfect.
I'm scrolling the website now. 3 days are available, including premium 3 days look like they're still available, and then 1 days are available.
Okay, just not CDO. That would be like a separate section.
Hector, they literally every time they put the CDL tickets on sale, they sold out in like under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's so badass.
insane.
UK have been craving an event for a very long time. As Ben said, like the last one we got was MW, which was basically COVID, and it was a weird one because it had a new team come in and they separated everybody. The one before that was like the Copper Box one where it was Clayster with the beach ball and well, what do we think of Luminosity?
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that event.
Like,
My team got
yeah,
fucked over at that event. I wasn't even there. I was in Atlanta for a FIFA event. I didn't even go to that shit show.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, I
wait.
mean, hey, look, and then obviously before that was CDOWL Birmingham. So it's like we had such a good run with events, but so the fact that we haven't had one for so long, it's no surprise this is selling out. Everyone is going to be wanting to get there. I wonder if with the Warzone stuff now going into a corner, Harry, but wonder the Warzone because the way it works is like the hall is basically like. Think of it as like a room, and then they put up dividers essentially to kind of separate bits and pieces off. So I wonder if it's going to be a case of, because you said the premium 3 days are still available and such.
Yeah.
So is a challenger going to be in with the CDL section, or will they have their own bit as well?
I don't know. You'd have to ask some EFG people. I'm not sure how they're going to lay out the room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I've been to past DreamHack events, they generally don't, especially something like the NEC, it's all one level. They generally will take down as many dividers as they can unless they need to gate access to like a certain area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you'll be able to walk pretty freely from like one side to the other, you know?
Okay.
I just assume the CDL thing because of from my understanding, the way the CDL room is laid out is that there is reserved seating and there is seating available for everybody that has a Birmingham ticket. But that ticket, that seat's gonna be first come, first serve. And like there's a cap in the room. And if they exceed the cap, then it's one in, one out.
Oh shit.
Very similar to like DreamHack Dallas, I'm assuming.
Yeah. That's what happened at DreamHack Dallas for the CDL. They got to capacity at one point too.
And now CDL's on Twitch now, so I could technically
everything, baby.
I could technically
TikTok,
watch that. I could technically watch that if I wanted to, huh? Like I could technically do a watch party for that at the event if I wanted to.
Yeah, you could.
That's badass. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This shit gonna be lit.
And Birmingham, there's going to probably be the way the CDL event's getting laid out. I'm not sure if it's going to be one stream or two streams. There's obviously a challenger stream as well. Like there's going to be a lot of content you can definitely consume in the Call of Duty world, which will be sick. But we'll probably do the same, to be honest. And like if like CDL is down in between matches, we'll probably people what's going on over at Warzone and challengers.
Yeah.
Like, being able to switch over will be really fun.
That's going to be dope, man. I love that this is actually happening. I mean, yeah, I mean, dude, this has been a dream again, like I've said before. It's been a dream for a while, and to see it actually like happen, I am so fucking excited now. Like, how long is that flight, fellas? For us?
It's not that long.
10.5 hours.
That's nothing. We all good, all good. That's nothing, bro. All right, man. Look, let's get back into the kind of the way everything's gonna work out, right? So after this at LAN at Birmingham, there will be the top 4. So remember, I think some people are forgetting this, that the quals for this, or the way that everything's gonna work, it's to get to EWC, or it's a separate way to get into EWC. So my question is, for these expansion regions, right? Are they keeping the same amount of spots for Esports World Cup, like, or is this fucking them more? That makes sense.
I don't think it is.
No, there's still 21 online spots.
So 8 qualifiers goes down to 20, right?
9 qual from LAN, so it's 32 total. 32 total qual spots, and then it's 21 online. Well, and I guess technically one of those would be the guaranteed spot that Twisted Minds has. So there'd be 20 online.
20 online. So then expansion regions, my biggest concern for expansion regions is, will they continue to have the same amount of spots that they had last year?
Sorry, 21. No, it'd still be 21 online because it would be 22 with the 9 LAN and then 1 guaranteed spot. So it'd be 21 online still. So then it'd probably be the same thing, 7-7 split regions, and then the Latin would be like 2, APAC 1, MENA 2.
Oh, okay. So if anything, this is just an addition to. That's not, I mean, that's, yes, it sucks. I feel bad for
adding 8 teams, yeah.
I do feel for the expansion regions, because like there's 2 lands that technically, I don't want to say they're inaccessible, but it is going to be hard for these guys to come out. I get it. I understand, right? Like, especially if, for example, let's say, more specifically, the guys in Australia, right? I feel like, Amir and them, they're going to be fine. They'll be able to go out and they'll be able to do their thing. But more specifically for people like, let's say, Levi, they can't really even play in tournaments right now because they're on 300 ping, 250 ping.
Right.
So how are you going to justify to your org, hey, it's worth flying us out, if they cannot accurately see how good you are from a business standpoint, right? You have to think about it like that. Like,
looking at it too, it's a 20, like basically a 24-hour flight time to get from Australia to Birmingham. Like, that's just logistically unrealistic for them.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, we know that here. Let me see. I think this is probably gonna be fucked up. If it is, let me just quickly fix it. Hold on.
Bray coming in and saying that they'll just pay for it themselves. Fair enough. Get yourself over, gents.
Bray, that's wow. Yo, fuck. Okay. Should I do this now, boys, or should I just leave it without sharing screen? I just wanted to show the top 4. So at LAN finals, we'll have the 4 teams from here will automatically qualify for Esports World Cup. They won't have. Okay, so wait. There is still going to be quals for Esports World Cup separately from this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll be the same thing as last year. We just have 8 more spots or whatever, or 9 more spots this year, basically, which is nice.
So those guys don't have to do the crazy long qualifying process.
Yes.
Correct.
That's why it's kind of sick. So it's like you're gonna have multiple opportunities to try and get to the Esports World Cup this year, like multiple.
What will be interesting, though, of course, is like the fact that those top however many teams that have made it through already, plus Twisted Minds, they're all going to be out of the EWC qualifier. So I wonder if that opens things up for a couple of the other teams to potentially make a run. Because last year, obviously, I mean, in Europe alone, we had like 3 teams that should have gotten there, and they failed because the top teams were all trying to contest for the same POI. So that changes like a lot of stuff gameplay-wise.
That kind of makes me sad too.
Insane because it's going to filter so many of the good teams out already. Like if we have 8 of the really good teams who already qual, it's like, now regional qualifiers get even like crazier, even on top of that.
Well, I'm kind of sad now.
You're assuming there's full roster lock too, right? Like once you qual, you're set. Like you can't even make a change.
Yeah,
dude, that's something we haven't even talked about.
Is there actually?
The thing for Warzone that sucks in the past, I mean, Ben, obviously it's pretty nice for CDL because you guys get roster mania like pretty much every major. For Warzone, it's basically
like every week it feels like it.
Yeah, especially challengers. For Warzone, at least in the past, it's been one roster will lock, and then that's like basically the roster forever, because once you sign up, you're done. But now it seems like we have 2 events before EWC, and I wonder how the roster lock stuff's going to work for that, because obviously teams that don't do well, they're going to want to make changes.
I mean, honestly, I feel like even now with a lot of these teams, like we might have some roster changes just with PCL, with teams like
exactly,
that haven't done good. And literally PCL ends the 6th, Quals is the 9th.
My guess would be, because I just looked it up in the rules, so there's, for each of these, it's once registration is closed for the tournament, squads will not be permitted to alter their rosters for the remainder of the tournament without advance written approval. So it feels like to me it's like there's roster lock per event, but then there's still like the EWC roster lock whenever those qualifiers start as well.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Clipper Rob just comes into chat waiting for the Shifty Sage team up.
Oh God.
Rob just wants content.
I'm all down for roster lock drama, but that one would get us all paid out. Good Lord.
I think that the tough thing with EWC, as you guys know, they generally don't release a lot of their nitty-gritty rule info until close to the event. So the question of like the teams that knock on through Birmingham and Atlanta, are they subject to a full 3-on-3 roster lock, or they like change one? Probably won't get an answer on that one until I assume the spring.
Adam's got to have an answer to that, because I think that is a rule that's happened for the last like 3 or 4 years. Like I
wonder if, like, for example, you have to do the Birmingham qualifiers and Dream at Birmingham together, right? Or I assume so. And then, okay, there's then in April, the Atlanta qualifiers. So, like, would there be a window then after Dream at Birmingham before the Atlanta qualifiers to change that up?
Bro, there's no way they make you play. Like, there's no way you roster lock on both of the LANs. You probably have a roster lock per LAN. So, like, roster lock for Birmingham, roster lock for Atlanta. Then after that, you can also break up and make a new roster.
My guess is once registration is closed. So it's like you got to sign up on Faceit through like the open qual and everything like that. It is just like once the event starts on Faceit, you are locked into that roster all the way through until if you qualify to LAN, hell yeah, that has to be that same roster. But if you obviously don't win and make EWC, you then go through a whole other Faceit registration for Atlanta, right? So I would assume like that's like a new round of roster lock that then goes through.
Adams just said rosters lock for each split. So yeah, I would assume that you're right. Yeah. The Birmingham split, the Atlanta split, the EWC split. And then if you qualify as a squad. Okay, so I'm assuming that if you get through, that's you sorted and settled in.
Wait, so okay, hear me. So what are the rules for, can you drop somebody? Because before, I think like 2 years ago, it was like if 2 people agree and one person, like you can agree to drop one person. Then they changed it to where all 3 have to agree or something like that. Like, what's the rules for dropping people? And if one person gets dropped, I'm curious to see, like, let's say something crazy happens, bro. Remember when Destroy, oh my God, Destroy, Z-Laner, and Clutchbook, where they wanted to drop, was it Clutch? Like, and they hate each other, and they were forced to play with each other again?
They had to play with them.
I wonder, is it the same thing? Or, like, hey, if you split up, you give up your spot. Let's imagine a team quals in Birmingham, gets top 4, right? Then something happens, they're like, nah, we don't want to play with these guys anymore. Then you got to requal again. Like, I know these are hypotheticals, but I assume
the way the rules are written is this is the rulebook classic, by the way. Squads not be permitted to alter their rosters without advance written approval from the administration, aka.
Hold on, Ben. You know all this stuff. Hey, Ebatez, what's good, bro? You slacking. Ben knows all this. Ebatez, you're supposed to be my right hand. You're supposed to be my right hand, Ebatez.
Is Ebatez supposed to be our Ben J?
Yeah.
Ben, what are you doing?
Come on, bro.
I just run circles around Ebatez like that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
This guy's getting a salary from the flank. What's going on?
Hold on. Let me tell you.
Seconds. Like, what are we doing?
I'm not like Tommy. Listen, I don't gotta like Tommy, bro. That guy got like 10 cars. All right, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. Guy's running circles around me, bro. He's Rafi. Like, what's going on,
bro? No, but I might get the problem. The answer to this question is like I think it just really comes down to my guess on how this usually works, right? Assuming it's like CDL, is like the Faceit admins. Faceit will be probably adminning the online part of this competition. You have to talk to them if you've got a situation, and then that gets kicked back to Activision, and they're ultimately making the call. That's usually how it's done, right? The Faceit admins kind of sit in the middle, but at the end of the day, it's going back to whoever and Activision's adminning the situation, and they will decide what goes and what doesn't go on that front.
Oh man, I know this is crazy, but I hope they allow like crazy roster drama drops. Like I wish. Oh my God, bro. Dude, that roster mania that we had during World Series Warzone was unreal. We had like, was it Gary, Huskers and Scummin? That drama. We had Clutch Bell, Z-Laner, Destroy. Dude, I'm glad that they're taking, like, you can switch teams between all these 3 different sections, but
Dude.
I'm just curious to see what happens if you qual. Like, are you locked no matter what? Or how does it work after
one
that?
One of the interesting things is with this coming out now is obviously there's already been quite a few orgs that have picked up rosters for EWC. You've got to assume they've been smart with the contract stuff and been like, look, if you guys suck, you guys are going to make a change. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many of those are like locked in properly, because some of the contracts last year I heard were like you were locked in, essentially. There was nothing you could do to change that. So yeah, this year, I mean, obviously there's a couple of teams that we're already looking at going, boys, you guys look really bad. And if that continues after DreamHack Birmingham, for example, I mean, I'm just going to throw them out there. Gen G, they've got a, they're in a spot where they can make a change even. So
that's what I wanted to touch on too, because things are obviously like a lot more difficult with rosters and stuff like that, especially with the contract stuff. I don't know how that stuff works. I'm sure we'll figure out, but I mean, yeah, that is definitely a hindrance on a lot of roster changes and stuff, and I'm sure why people will be more hesitant to change.
I will say that EWC traditionally, last 2 years, the way EWC, and they could just have new rules this year for all I fucking know. What they have done is they've had what's called a global roster lock. They've said to all teams, listen, there's 90 million competitions going on at EWC. But after this date, your ability to make roster changes per game is limited to what's in the individual rule book. So that will be interesting on when that global roster lock is. I think last year it was like the end of May. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, or something in May.
It's the day quals were supposed to start. It was May 15, and then they got pushed back.
Which, interesting enough, Atlanta finals would be May 17th. So that's getting also particularly close to that date, if it's the same window as it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
A good question on that front.
Yeah.
Speaking
go ahead.
Speaking of Gen G, sorry, just Keith in here. He's like one of the managers over at Gen G. Yeah, it's only 2 out of 3 that have to have residency in the region.
Yeah.
So yeah, just worth checking.
Yeah,
you all
that's
have
a
to
good
be
one.
physically in the region while playing. Just fly Len over. It's all right. He knows
Len gonna be here a lot. I'm gonna tell you, Len we're gonna need Len to stay here for a little bit.
That guy weighs about 3 stone, piss wet through. He'll get a cheap seat. He doesn't take up much fuel. Yeah, you're all good.
Wait, so is that a rule? I just hopped on flight and hopped on. So, but how are you finding all this stuff? Like,
Control F, brother.
oh, you know what? That's a good calm.
Technology, man, we've come a long way.
That's a good calm. See,
Control F
Ebatez,
is
learn Control F. Ebatez, come on, man. Come on, bro.
Control F. Okay, let me write that down. Hold up. Let me get my book. Control F.
Let me read to you what it says in here. This is about eligibility. Mixed region rosters are permitted. However, 2 out of 3 players must be residency requirements for the qualifier region. All players must be physically located in an eligible location within their team's designated qualifier region during all matches. So you can't, like, I think to your point, have 2 out of 3 and someone's playing on EU on high ping.
Right. So Scumman's going to have to fly to Europe. Scumman's going to have to fly to Europe, for example.
Scumman's going to have to fly to Europe, and Lennon's going to have to fly to Europe. I'm telling you, Scumman said they should house swap.
Trade
They
apartments.
should just house swap, bro. Yeah, just house swap.
Dude.
That's good content right there.
That's great.
It's great content.
That's actually, that would be awesome. So what are the regions? Are those the only 2 that we know as of right now that are like making great like changes like that? Like our mixed regions?
Well, Criminal God is technically in North America. I believe he's in Puerto Rico, and his 2 teammates are in LATAM, so they're going to have to go through the open. Unless they like dropped one of the LATAM teammates, so that's not going to happen. Like, because if they qualified, let's say they went to the event without, like, let's say Z Dark, and they qualified for it, then they wouldn't be able to play EWC with Z Dark, and that would just be wrong. So they're probably going to go through the open, I would assume.
Yeah. And I also think to Rob's point in the chat, anyone that is a manager for an org, and you got players, especially if they need to come play here in the US, like, do not slack on visa work requirements. They take forever in the US, and you should start on them now, because you do not want to be in a situation where you meet an unlucky border agent, your paperwork is not in order. It's a mess. Take it from the CDL when it happens. You're calling senators and people in the federal government to try and fix the issue, and it's not worth it, bro. Not worth it.
Okay. All right. I mean, look, now, do you guys think that there's going to be any teams, like, I don't think so, but like from specifically expansion regions that disband to try and play in EU and in NA? For example, I know it's probably a troll. Panda in the group chat was like, yo, any 2 NA players looking for one, let me know. Like,
he's probably not trolling.
Smart, man.
You don't think he's trolling?
No,
mean,
I think
don't-
Dan,
I
I'll
think
let
it'd
you
be
go,
a
and
good
then I'll
idea.
go after. I'll follow up, Dan. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think it's smart, right? Because it's traditionally we've only been limited to like the region that you have to be there with. But for some of these players who maybe do make content or have decent money that could say, hey, I could fly over to play for where I needed to and fly back. There are some good players from those regions that could be the piece that you need to have the team to make it to LAN and actually be competitive and go there. So I don't think it's like terrible. I think it's we're kind of talking about the exception that like there's only a handful of people like that maybe could do that. But I don't think that if you're like a team of two and you're like, man, we really need a third and this guy from LATAM really, fits in and we can make it work, then like, I don't think it's off the table by any means.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think like there's really not a lot of guarantees in Warzone, especially like if you have a chance to go play on a team, all the top teams are pretty much locked, right? So if you're making like a lateral move from like a decent team in LATAM and you're going to a decent team in NA, you might as well take that opportunity because it's going to give you more opportunities. And you might have more options. It's going to be a better chance. You might actually get like an org. You never know. Like I think people should make that move.
Now, does MENA count as expansion, or are they a part of Europe? The actual thing.
There'll be expansion for EWC.
Which means they would
for
be
World Series.
Yeah. So then they are. So they have to do the exact same thing as everybody else here.
Correct.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Which gets weird for like Showstopper
you
because
sure?
he's from Lebanon, right? But I
Yeah,
guess he
because
could
last
play
year Jukies and Robstar flew out to MENA because they thought that'd be the easier qualifier, remember? And then they missed out by like half a point.
Oh my God.
And then World Series, it comes back together. Try being the European expert for one half of the season and the EMEA expert for the other half of the season. Not screw that up on broadcast multiple times.
It was great.
But
it was fun.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I was juggling all the syllables. It will fortunately be, well, how many did they get? 2, 3 from MENA? I think it's 2.
It was 2.
Yeah, so they'll probably get the 2 again, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm excited for? And I've talked about it with Chris, and he tweeted out right now. And I mean, we've seen the crazy storylines, and Ben J, you can kind of attribute to this is the like Zuma picking up the Stallions, Zinni with the Challengers team over there for Optic, like, and everybody's supporting Huntsman. There you go. Everybody's supporting them, right? Like, as you guys saw, I picked up a Baka squad for PCL season 1. We'll see what happens for these now, right? We'll see if we keep them for these. But
what just happened in Apex? The team that just won ALGS finals
on Soon them, right?
Team.
Yep.
No, if you're following ALGS, Apex Legends, like World Championship, the team that won wasn't an org team. It was a team that qualified through LCQ. Like they literally made the run to the beginning. Like I think with
those, Those guys were not like no names though. To be fair, those guys were like actual, like they've been around for a minute.
But they were not like an org back team, and they had to go from LCQ. I think what's really interesting about this format that I think is awesome is like, you're going to be able to get prestige teams. I think eventually there's a way in which you kind of pivot this to probably something more akin to ALGS. So you get your mainstays that always get these events, but there's an open wall. Is like this will surface people in EU, in NA, probably other reasons to travel in that like haven't really been able to square with this competition before. They get a hot LAN. Then you get in that lobby with 16 trios. You never know what happens. Match point.
Yeah, the challenger circuit, I will say in Apex, is actually like a pretty cool system that this could easily morph into kind of something like that, where it's like you have enough years of like layered competition that you say, okay, these are the good teams, these are the good players that we know like should be here. You maybe come up with some type of pro points thing, and then like the challenger circuit now becomes like these open qualifier things where it's like teams are playing on in for a couple of those spots at LAN that we have here. That's kind of there, which would be kind of sick. So rather than everybody having to go through these open quals, it's like, 16 trios at LAN, and maybe 10 of them are all from the league or whatever, pro points, and you're already there,
Look, like I texted Joe about this for PCL, and I texted Swag this today. I said, look, man, like let's all pick up a team for these quals for the season. And let's shed some light onto this. And, Swag's like, yo, let's do it. So Swag just tweet out, said, yo, picking up a team for Nuke Squad for this. You know me, I got my Baka squad. I told them, let's see how they do in PCL season 1, and then we'll go from there. But I can imagine other content creators getting involved and having, dope ass watch parties the same way that CDL has done it, man. It only amplifies everybody. I was telling Joe, I said, Joe, you could call them the movement kings. He has his own Twitter for them and stuff like that already. For him, like any content creators that want to pick up a squad and just cheer for a squad for this entire split, the 3 splits. Like that'd be awesome, man. So if there's any content creators here that want, let me know. I'll tell you who to pick up, right? Like I watch a lot of this shit, so I got you.
All I want to say real quick is that if you're in here and you're a Warzoner, I need you to go look at what Telluride Bush in Challengers is doing. And if you're a bigger content creator, understand that you can do the exact same fucking thing here in Warzone. Telluride Bush is a team that is fronted by Barstool Sports. There are a ton of dads who just load up Call of Duty and they see that Barstool is a Call of Duty team and they are the hottest team in Challengers. Are they the best? Fuck no. They just got bounced yesterday at a series they should have won. But it doesn't matter. They have the biggest like following behind them, right? And it's just like for people like Joe and Swag, it's such an easy way to make content. You're just doing watch parties, you're hyping them up, give us some backstories on some of these players. Like it's gonna be so easy. So if you're like a bigger content creator, I cannot urge you enough to go look at what Barstool is doing with Telluride Bush, and it's such an easy copy paste because they know nothing about COD. It's literally Mook running a watch party off of his laptop of like
They
a
don't.
MacBook Pro.
They barely know what the fuck's going on, bro. Like
Exactly.
Jersey bought a PC and bricked it instantly, so that shows how much how tech savvy they are right now. But no, they're doing great.
We had Jerry coming to a flank episode talking about. I'm talking about rulebook. Jerry's pulling out rulebook stats. He's talking about getting time torch. It's good content, but to your point,
cup one, cup two, very early.
It's cup one, the first cup. But to your point, like one thing that I think Activision and the ESL Facebook group is, especially with regards to Barstool, us other content creators. Otaga's a good example of this. Like they're very supportive for large creators. If you come to them and say, hey, like we'd love to support a team, we'd love to come to events and have a space. Like they're really accommodating on trying to figure out again how to get more content, increase audience and reach, and get more people activating content around the event, both live, pre-recorded, whatever. So I agree with you. Like there's a really good opportunity for people for Warzone adjacent and want to sponsor a team. There's a chance if your team's nasty, you don't got to pay a single dollar to get them to fly out. You go out and create content around them, but you're like pay for the jerseys. That's really all you got to do.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm like, all right, how much is a flight to Birmingham? 3 flights, maybe 3 hotels. I'm trying to do the math and figure out how much it costs to get them per event. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of ass smacking about to happen.
Yeah. We're gonna do I'm gonna get as many sponsors as I can just to fly these guys out to Birmingham. You know what I'm saying?
How many Biffle streams can you do?
Jesus,
that's crazy. Oh man, but no, yeah. So look, we have the first Birmingham, then immediately after that, people come back from Birmingham, and I don't know if they have the dates anywhere, but based off the dates that I'm seeing for the actual, it says April 6th. So let me look at my calendar. The first one is March 29th. So quite literally a week later, quals start again. Like March.
So that's our Rostermania window right there.
A week.
Yeah. A week. Holy shit.
We have to tell there's going to be some date before the 6th that like I assume registration locks. Like they have to verify squads are eligible. So I wonder if the actual lock date is like that weekend, like the 4th to the 5th, not actually the 6th.
If that's the case, let's just say it's the 4th, right? It's the Saturday or even the Sunday the 5th. They have less than a week to change rosters. The event ends the 29th. The 30th is a Monday. So you have from Monday till possibly even Friday, 5 days to lock your squad. And then immediately after that, literally a week later, everything starts again. Like quals start on the 9th. On the 6th of April. Then through May 17th. And then the actual thing is, is it May 17th?
Well, when is
Atlanta? What's Atlanta dates, Ben J?
Atlanta's the middle of May.
Yeah, May 17th. Yeah.
It's
15th,
17th, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's usually a well-attended event. I haven't gone to a DreamHack Atlanta, but I know people that have. It's normally, funny enough, DreamHack Atlanta is normally like in October, November. But because, from my understanding, the Dallas Convention Center, which normally held sort of April, like the springish DreamHack event, is under renovation work, like expansion work. They moved Atlanta now to the middle of spring. So I think it'll be probably pretty popping because May, like mid-May is right on the cusp before it gets like super hot in Atlanta and people get the fuck out of the city for a bit. But it's also that venue is like smack in the middle of downtown. It's right by like Mercedes-Benz, State Farm, like right in the center of Atlanta. It's like a pretty cool.
You also have Counter-Strike.
Yeah, Counter-Strike. I wonder what Counter-Strike is going to be. I assume that's going to be at State Farm, you would think, right? I don't think there's another arena attached to Georgia Congress, but it's literally across the street. The only weird thing about Georgia World Congress is it's like multiple floors. You ever been there? It's like there
They
is
said
like
it's huge.
one.
Rob just said it's huge.
There's like one big hall, and then you go past that hall, and there's literally 4 levels straight down of different conventional. Crazy.
Oh man, this shit's gonna be so fun. Listen, Shanice, Rob, Steph. I hope y'all go to every single one of these. We need y'all there. Wait, Ben, are you guys coming next week?
Yeah, I leave on Monday.
Oh,
God
nice.
willing, I don't get fucking delayed by an ice storm.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Apparently,
Oh, don't say that. It should be fine. There's
I
no
hope
ice.
so.
No ice.
I hope so. Shit, I'm here. I'll be there next week. But yeah,
I got so much shit to do, Hector. I can't. Any delays, and I got Tomasi yelling at me that stuff's. I already got my say. Listen, I can't deal with more stress from Tomasi, so I gotta hope the flight's good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ben J, I like you, bro. You're a hard worker, bro. Yeah, hey, I wish,
I appreciate that.
I wish somebody was as hardworking as that. You know what I'm saying? You're always there, Ben J. Just you're locked in and stuff.
Guys.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Sorry,
All right,
Wow, Ebatez staring at his back wall right now. That's insane.
No, I was like, my girl, like she's my girl. You guys know, you guys get it. She's
Yeah,
just,
it's,
I understand. You're super to girlfriend.
She's
She's
super
hitting you
needy.
up.
she's super needy. You know, just gotta-
Yeah, man. Wait, so already right now, apparently for the quals, 512, that's the cap. 88 out of 512 register for EU, 67 out of 512 register for NA. I feel like people don't even know that you can register right now.
No, they do. I'm looking at it. There's 67 people already signed up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like people don't even know.
Yeah. Well, and this goes to our point earlier. What I was going to say is that obviously this is already open and then it ends on Monday the 9th. So
Yeah.
I would assume it for Atlanta, it's also going to open probably 2 or 3 weeks before and then also then close on that day. So like if you want to make that roster lock in between, like maybe, I mean, it'd be super faded, but maybe you can sign up for the next one with a due team while you're participating in the first one.
Yeah. The reason why I say I don't
ahead.
think anybody knows is with PCL signups, we had within 5 minutes we had 170 people, like of 170 teams, not people, sign up. So I'm sure, like I'll probably for the next couple of days I'll start like I'll be like, yo, if y'all want to sign up, like no one. To all this, to a lot of people coming in the chat, this is all brand new. Like they probably don't even know the quals, and it's free to sign up. Just sign up, you know. So I'll probably start doing a little bit like trying to get people to sign up as much as they can because a lot of these guys, these Warzone guys, don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yep.
For
So
sure.
reading through it, it's a capped out of 512 teams. It's already at 88 now. Obviously, these teams aren't full. My Ben J Pro advice, knowing Faceit, is if you don't already have a Faceit account, make sure your Activision ID is correct on your Faceit account.
Yes.
A lot of people we DQ'd from this tournament who did not have the correct Activision they're playing with on their account.
Oh God.
I'll eliminate like a lot of people off this list. So if you don't currently have that, you can hit up Faceit support. They can help you out. But yeah, 512. I mean, it's already 88. You got to think. What do you think? That might fill up?
Oh, I think it will fill up. I truly believe that. It's just people don't know.
Also, I can't remember exactly how it played out last year, but there was something to do with some people had only put in like just their captain or like just the first 2 players hadn't fully filled the team. I don't know exactly how it happens. Do you get removed if a full team signs up after that point and you're at the cap or whatever? But whatever it was, a bunch of teams then realized the day of the event that they actually weren't playing because they hadn't fully filled out their team. So if you make sure you guys also do that because that happened a lot last year.
I already know, bro. There was some guy that was tweeting me out for PCL. And they didn't fill out any info for his team, so we skipped them. He waited till the last day, and he tweeted, "I hate you, Hector," or "I hate you, Repullze." and then I went to go check why. Like I was like, bro, if you signed up, you were able to get in, and it's because bro didn't fill out anything. They just put their names with no active ID, no nothing. I was like, bro, it's not our fault. Like,
Nah.
So here's what it says on the Faceit page. It actually talks about this. Important. When you sign up, a form will pop up. All players must complete the screening step and fill it out before signups close. If not, the whole team will be automatically removed, no exceptions. And the next line is teams with fewer than 3 players will remove daily to free up spots for others. So if you want to play, get in there, get your 3 in there so you're confirmed. Otherwise, again, it's going to roll and kick people out. And you don't want to be the 513th people 513th trio trying to sign up for this thing, and there's not a spot available for you.
I mean, last year, how many people signed up for EWC in both regions last year? Like, I think it was 512
for EU and like. Wasn't it like 4 or 5 for NA, I think?
What? I know Adam can probably attest to it, but I don't know. I don't know.
I will say something that's interesting. I'm looking at this now, learnings from EWC last year. So we start with 32 lobbies. Like, let's say this maxes out. You play 4 drops in that lobby, and then it's the top 8, and then, you know, be able to move on, and then bottom 8 get dropped. So, and then in like each round you play more and more games, right? So like last year we had the whole thing where it was like you're only playing 3 games in those earlier rounds until you qualified. It's only that first round you play 4, the next round it's 5, and then it's 7 and 7 for the next 2 rounds as well. So it's like it's a good filter for, we should have like teams who make it have played enough games against other teams and players that like they have earned that spot and didn't just kind of like RNG their way through 3 games to try and get there.
Okay, yeah.
It's nice. That's good.
Adam said 512, so that's why they probably chose this number. I do 100% expect it to fail. At least I think. I think it'll fail. If there was 512 last year, there's probably going to be 512 for this. I just think that obviously it just got announced.
Yeah.
No one, I'm telling you right now, no one expected this shit. Like everybody, like,
I mean, Shifty's just come in asking questions, so
this is his fucking job, and he's over here asking questions and shit. Like
Fucking Shifty, bro.
one of our greatest of all time, and he's like, "Wait, so what's happening? Like, what we doing?"
Hey, that kid, man, he funny.
EU
Bro.
Shifty can make a comeback. EU Shifty can get here.
Come on.
He could get
Hey,
the EWC
look,
through Birmingham if he wanted
That
to.
was still the craziest lore. I don't know how they let him in. Like he
The guy
snuck
won a
in.
tournament with Benny Central. Like he dropped everything on us. It was awful. We took
wish-
World Series as repayment, to be fair.
I wish you could have heard the conversation when Enigma and I like got everything and we jumped in, and I'm looking at the roster list and I go, "Oh, is this a different Shifty?" And they're like, "No, that's like the Shifty." And we're like, "What the fuck?
Oh, dear.
Like, why
Oh,
is
no.
he here? What is going on?"
Ben,
They're like, well, he's playing with Benny, so it's okay.
to give you
And then
some
he got smoked
context.
the first 2 days.
To give you some context, Ben J, I know Enigma's gonna be so mad, but Shifty,
Fuck.
there was an all EU tournament, right? Somehow, some way, Shifty was able to finesse his way into the tournament. It was supposed to be, you only had to be in EU, and the admins were like, "Oh, it is what it is. He's with Benny, like he's not that great, whatever, right? Like it's okay." He ended up fucking winning the entire tournament with Benny Central, and I forgot who else. And
Rob
he,
Stark.
But
Rob, hey, Ben J, he smoked them all off ping. It was
That's bad.
all of
it gets so
Twitter.
much worse.
All of Twitter was like, I can't believe we let him do this to us."
it gets
You're giving this
so
guy
much
material
worse.
for years, bro. You're giving him material for years.
It was so much worse because Shifty was a 1, and then there was like 3 other really good European teams still up. And what Shifty did was just took the high point, let everybody else fight, and mopped them all. So he basically 1v9'd. And I'm just sat there in the back like, what is happening? Please, someone kill him. Our entire region will be mocked for the rest of the year.
That
was awful.
was the Gentlemates Hell Week, because they got 1v2'd by Shifty to lose that tournament.
Oh,
2
yeah.
days later, they get 1v2'd by Z Smith to lose the next one.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Akio's kind
man.
of like having fits in his sleep because we're talking about it, but yeah.
Having nightmare.
You guys got your Get Back at World Series, man.
Yeah, I
It's
was
all
about to say
good.
that. I was
we
saying, hey,
did,
don't
we did,
worry.
we did.
Y'all
Yeah,
got your
we
get
did,
back.
we
Don't
did.
worry, that trophy's on my shelf over here. I made a replica. I sleep with it at night. It was one of the best days of my life.
Oh man. No. Okay. So we digress. We digress. So now Atlanta, same exact thing. What was it? April 6th. April 6th the quals for that start. And then that goes to May 17th. Then after that, it says it's quals for Esports World Cup, right? And there's dates are to be determined right there. But I assume, so you can play if you qualify for LAN, or if you win, let's say you win Birmingham, you can still go and play in Atlanta. But obviously for quals, if you qualify in any one of those, you cannot play in the qualifiers, obviously. Right? Like that goes without saying.
For EWC.
Yes, for EWC. Now, do you guys think that's going to fuck up a lot of teams? Because I remember for Falcons, I'm not going to say that's a reason why they were bad last year, because let's just be honest, they had a lot of internal issues, right? Shifty's here, he can attest to that. But one of the things was they didn't practice at all because they had already qualified. They got the automatic qual spot. So for Esports World Cup, if you automatically qualify, do you think that's going to put you in a worse position to where you're not going to be able to like practice? Because last year, I remember they tried, dude, oh my God, this is some lore. They tried, dude, I was so fucking mad. Bro, they tried to ban Falcons from scrims because they're like, oh, they're not going to be in quals, they shouldn't be in scrims. And Falcons was like, yo, like, what the fuck? You're just going to blacklist us from practicing? We need to practice too.
I still stand on that. They should not have been allowed in the scrims before.
You're
EWC.
high. You're high.
Nah,
You're
I
high.
haven't said on
No,
that.
you are
because,
high.
Because what we ran into is during the quals, all these people during scrims weren't landing stronghold, and then during the quals they went stronghold. So like our scrims weren't actual practice for what the final qualifier is going to be.
But nothing's ever going to be actual practice. Like nothing's ever like.
Yeah,
you can correlate as best as you can. Like nothing's ever.
But that's not correlating the best we can, because they were a team that wasn't going to play qualifiers and they were playing scrims.
But you
I will 100%
are
stand on that.
But you are like literally blacklisting a team from getting practice just because.
Get
like,
Zinni back in here.
Before final qualifiers, yes. Obviously up to LAN, of course they're allowed in scrims. But I think for those scrims that are leading up to qualifiers, like we are practicing for qualifiers, yeah, I don't think they should be allowed.
Anyway, go ahead. You were going to say something.
We did this conversation months ago or a year ago, whatever. It's dumb. But what happens with the spot from last year, Twisted Minds? Because that's not the same roster now. Does it belong to the captain or does it belong to Twisted Minds?
The ruling is you need 2 of the same players, and the same org. So basically, in order for this to work, Shifty would have to sign with Twisted Minds along Ben and Smith.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Shifty, you reckon you look good in blue, or you know
So
what's going
what
on over
happens
there?
if they
This
don't
guy's just
sign with
switching
Twisted
from
Minds?
one MENA org to another. It's fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
They still no one's still
the Yankees. So like, what are we doing here?
Yo, but like, okay, look, I remember that vividly, right? Like, I was like, guys, this doesn't make any sense. Like, let me know if I'm wrong. I still completely disagree with Ebatez. I was like, I don't feel like you should be punished for qualifying. Like, if you want to practice, go ahead. But if you don't, you don't. Who cares? But like, I feel like if you are one of the top teams, you should be able to practice. I don't think anything should stop you from doing that. And I remember this shit, bro. I was so fucking pissed because I went through hell for the Falcons, right? And then guess what? This was like on a Friday. They were like, fine, like let him in. Monday, Shifty left the fucking Spain. He didn't even play in any of the fucking scrims. I was so fucking mad, bro. Like, dude, there's times where shit this pissed me off, but that one right there was probably the one where I was like, bro, fuck you, Shifty. I just went through hell for you. And then for him to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to Spain though, bro, later. Like, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Because like, if that's the case now, again this year, if that team, like, are they allowed to, like, do you guys think they should be allowed to scrim? If anybody who's not qualified or who already qualified, do you allow them in scrims?
I mean, you could. I guess what you could do if you really wanted to is throw like specific. Look, there's like 2 during the week that are just qualified scrims only or whatever. But I don't think you can blacklist a team for performing well from scrims generally. Like,
Yeah.
You got. I mean, if there was like maybe I don't know the 3 days before the final qualifier. Look, this is just scrimming for the qualifier. Maybe you could do that, but turning around and saying like, "Hey, you guys are really good. We're gonna make your life harder by saying you can't scrim for 2 weeks." I don't know. That's tough going. Something happened to Ethan.
No, he left. He said he'll be right back. He has a quick meeting to go to. So let me hop in real fast. Hold on, fellas. Let me quickly do this. Fix this.
I'm right there with you. I think it's the same idea where it's like, if you want to have some scrims that are without them, that's fine. But just the way the schedule is, just knowing that we're not playing at EWC until end of July and that qualifiers will be maybe like a little bit before that, it just feels dumb that like this team comes out, they place top 4 at Birmingham, and then all of a sudden they're just not allowed to scrim for months. It's like motivated.
I mean, I'm glad that we're having this conversation now before like we find out these however many teams that qual. What is it? 4 and 5?
Yeah.
Is it?
I do think I get Ethan's point, and I don't disagree with it because it is true. It's like, I mean, think about it. Like leading up to that, we had teams who were like taking over strongholds, and like that was their thing when Falcons wasn't in the lobby. Was that like what 5 years was doing, right? Like they were kind of taking over stronghold, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, now they're not doing that. The lobby's weird, and so it's kind of not playing how you expect it to. So like, I get the idea, but I also am like, it shouldn't be the default. Like just run some, but it can't be the default.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look, boys. I want to talk about one thing real quick because we are getting to the end. But one of the I won't say biggest controversies, right? But I have seen a couple people mention it. What are y'all's thoughts on the prize pool? I'm gonna bring it up here, and the prize pool is a little like for me, it's in addition to what we've already had. So I'm not complaining, but I understand with these players, it's like, oh, if you win, you get 10K each. Right. So I can understand, but even though this is in addition to, what are y'all's thoughts on it?
Let's not bite the hand that feeds you. Jesus Christ. Like we're taking another step forward. We've been given what we wanted. This is qualification for EWC, and you're potentially making 10 Gs. Like, let's let's just, don't get me wrong, like, okay, sure, going forward, maybe we can turn around and say, look, can we get a little bit more? But like, for now, let's just play the fucking game, right? Like, good Lord. Come on,
I will say it's a little bit weird. Like, I mean, I get it. You get paid out if you make it to the LAN, whether through open or through quarters. That's cool. I don't know if I love paying out like everybody who makes it to that end. I'm okay. Like, I'd almost rather just see this bottom 8 maybe be shifted up. That's there, just like the top 8, you know, that's on there. But I also get it. I mean, if you make it to LAN, you still make 250 as a trio. That helps with if you were a team who paid your way to play through the open. Sure, that's something, you know, that's there, and it definitely helps out. But I'm not like a huge fan of paying out like this. I get it. I'm not like I'm right there with Enigma. I don't really care. To be honest with you, I'd personally rather just see all of that get swallowed up and get moved to the top 8.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
I'm always super down for top heavy prize pools. I've always loved that. I don't like participation trophies. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that this is a participation trophy, but you know, top 16, you know, it is what it is. But for me, this is in addition to what we've already have. So I do like this. At the end of the day, if you qualify, not through the open, if you go through like the online stuff, you get a free trip. So why the fuck not, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then after that, guys, it's EWC, Quals, and then Esports World Cup. And after that, like we talked about a little bit earlier, we don't know what the deal is right now with World Series. So hopefully that's cooking up. We don't know. But all in all, it's looking like we got a Adam, you know what I'm saying? Any leaks?
Like once for yes, once for no. Tell us, sir, what is happening over there?
But yeah, fellas, I think this year it's gonna be a good year. I mean, bro, 2 extra lands. Like we have guaranteed 3 lands this year. Even if World Series doesn't happen, that's better than last year. I would hope that World Series Warzone is still happening. That's 4 lands. And then on top of that, Esports Nations Cup. We still don't know what's going on with it right there. That is in November, I believe. And I have no idea if that's coming to Warzone or not. But if it does, that's a potential 5 lands this year. Now, obviously, that's hoping for the best. Who knows where we are alongside that? Ben J, is CDL part of that? Or is that still up in the air?
Around about esports. So first off, I have a feeling the first ENC is going to be a bit chaotic just because we're trying to build a lot of infrastructure, how the nations are going to work and the quals. So just don't be surprised if just ENC year 1 is just, you know, a bit iffy. As far as Activision having both Call of Duty games or one of them, I've asked around. No one seems to really know. It sounds like, you know, classic EWC, ENC things. I think the conversations are just ongoing. It's obviously a weird time for both games because we're sort of running up the period of like when the new game will release. But the obvious sort of anchor this year is we don't yet have a release date for the new title. So I think TBD. I assume we'll probably find out. You would think probably before EWC they'll announce all the ENC dates. So at some point in the spring.
Damn. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. Obviously, they haven't given the dates because what Esports World Cup normally do is they do like a from this date to this date. This is when Esports World Cup is. They don't tell you the official stuff until later on. But right now, do we have Esports Nations Cup dates like around here? Because I remember seeing somewhere it's like November. But do we know? Is there like
no? They haven't announced anything for NC dates. Where NC's at is the most recent NC thing is they've opened applications for people to run essentially their individual like national federation. So I don't know. I mean, I assume kind of the order of things going on right now is, I don't know if you guys know this, but EWC Club Partner Program, that process ends like at the end of this month. And I assume then we'll start hearing about clubs for EWC. And then they'll probably move into ENC stuff probably in like the spring, I would assume. Like just more info roll out there.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess there's only time will tell in there. I think everything, you know, that we had today's been one of the best days for Warzone, specifically if you like competitive. If you are, I mean, we got Resurgence ranked coming to Havens Hollow. We have 3 lands or 2 extra lands got announced with a path to quote unquote pro. Anybody can compete. Anybody watching this right now, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. If you're listening to this, you can compete if you want to. Like it's very, you can. It's not like anybody can compete, which I think is dope. And now we get a structure where we're combined with CDL, and I think that's fucking badass. And I think this is only the beginning. Like you said, we're on year. You guys keep saying year 3, but I'm pretty sure we're year 4. Am I faded?
Yeah, we're going into year 4. My bad. No, my bad. We're definitely going into year 4.
Year 4, And I mean, who knows what this looks like in 10 years? And I hope it's still going and it's just insane. Obviously, we have Apex as the gold standard for how they do things. I mean, dude, they're the way that they do shit is it's nice. It's badass. And so if we can even get close to that, if we can surpass that one day, that'd be awesome, man. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for the competitors, for all this stuff. There's still a lot more stuff to kind of talk about as more things come about. But first and foremost, just players, get ready because you don't got much time. Like I know a lot of, especially for the teams that didn't qualify for PCL, especially with teams that we thought would qualify and they didn't. Get ready because you don't got much time. You got what, 2 weeks? Oh shit! I just closed everything. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm good. I think. Okay. I'm still here, right?
Yeah. Right. All right.
Yeah, you're still here.
Still my god. Yeah. 2 weeks, pretty much. 2 weeks and 2 days to be ready.
What did I just do? Okay, that works. There you go. Oh my god! I just closed everything. Okay, I'm good.
Oh my god.
It's a real quality end of the show right now. Really petering out
our
here.
home version.
All right, we back, bro. I don't know what I just did. I clicked something by the calendar, but we are what? Yeah, 2 weeks. About 2.5 weeks until quals start. So a lot of these teams are about to make roster changes. I know a lot of people who were waiting for the season to start. There are some competitors that were like up in the fence whether they want to compete this year, and they were like, oh, like PC and all that stuff is just like that's off-season stuff, whatever. Like we're no longer in the off-season. We're probably going to see a lot more people who are waiting to figure out whether they're competing or not to start deciding, hey, whether they want to or not. So we'll see, man. But boys, any final thoughts?
We up, baby.
Yeah, I think like just putting out a big thank you to a lot of folks because obviously there's been some weird stages through our history as a scene, right? And we've pushed, and I mean everyone. Well, sorry, not you, Ben. All the love in the world, all the respect in the world, but there's been a lot of heart and soul from the people in this chat. All right, but also there's so many people that I'm seeing right now in Hector's chat. There's like, you have been here since the very beginning. There's so many people who behind closed doors have swung bats for us and fought for us the whole entire way. Like Gold just popping up in chat. That guy has got a website that lists stats and has done ever since the beginning of Warzone. There's so many people who have done so much. Obviously, you know, this is just part of the journey, but it is an incredible step forward. So yeah, massive thank you to those who've done that. And yeah, setting us up for what is going to be a hell of a year. Can't wait for it.
Excited, man. I'm excited. Ben, appreciate you, bro. Honestly, you even though I didn't expect you to know all this stuff, even if you're control effing, you were very helpful today, Ben J.
Oh, thank you.
A lot more helpful than my usual co-host. Let me just throw that out there, you know. But no,
Ebatez, so be careful, bro. Ebatez in my channel, bro. Listen, I know you're wanting to praise me and shit on your normal co-host, but I got to step through for my boy. You know?
Oh shit! No,
we got to talk. Listen, now we have some real good collab opportunities. We got to talk. You know, I heard rumblings that maybe. Well, you've never been before. Tommy's dad might be at Birmingham. I think that'd be interesting.
Okay.
Video.
Okay.
We need to meet that. Yeah, I think we should talk about some collab opportunities because I think we should then be the forefront of this CDL X Warzone things because we're gonna have a couple of touch points this year.
I'm 100% down. You guys just let me know what you guys want to do, but 1,000% we should collab and do, and just whether it be the Flank X Pullze Check, whatever. I'm down for anything. This is the start of hopefully something really dope coming in the future. Like, bro, I'll text you guys tonight. For sure. But yeah, but everybody at home, man, appreciate you guys as always. We got the best day of my life. Not the best day of my life. One of the best days of my life today. One of the best days of my life. No, I'm saying my wedding. Baby, I love you if you're watching. But yeah, one of the best days in a long time. Very excited for Warzone. But everybody at home, I appreciate you guys tuning in. So many fucking people said this shit was dead. And trust me, I get why y'all thought that. But your boy kept the faith, even though the faith was dwindling. But you know, it seems like we're back, man. We're fucking back. And I'm excited. And yes, because I saw all of chat spamming it. I will try and convince Diaz to come back, but don't get your hopes high because he's probably not. But anyways, fellas, I appreciate y'all as always. Dandro, Ben J, Enigma, you guys are fucking awesome. Thank you guys for hopping on today. Everybody at home, appreciate you guys as always. And we'll be coming a lot more Warzone, competitive Warzone, and all that stuff very, very soon. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate y'all, and we'll catch you guys in the next Pullze Check, baby. Peace, 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 peace.